Trump did say he believes diversity initiatives at the FAA have not hired the most qualified employees.
For some jobs, and not only this, but air traffic controllers, they have to be at the highest level of genius.
The president also said the crew of the Army Black Hawk helicopter should have seen the commercial jet.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. 64 people on the American Airlines flight and 3 soldiers on the helicopter were killed. Search crews in the Potomac River recovering at least 28 bodies so far. Confirmation hearings on Capitol Hill with FBI Director nominee Kash Patel facing the Senate Judiciary Committee, where Republicans say he's needed to clean up the FBI. Committee Chair Chuck Grassley.
Mr. Patel's career has been a study in fighting unpopular but righteous causes, exposing corruption.
But Democrats say he doesn't have the experience or judgment needed, questioning his past comments about targeting political enemies and pointing to President Trump's recent pardon of Capitol rioters. Patel says what matters at the FBI is following the law.
As for January 6th, I have repeatedly, often, publicly, and privately said there can never be a tolerance for violence against law enforcement.
Day 2 of hearings for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with the health secretary nominee again facing repeated questions about vaccine criticisms. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What's in your forecast? 46 degrees, cloudy over the circle. Your radar is clear, and you'll have some chances for rain, though, moving in later. Low of 40 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Not only is rain supposed to fall both today and tomorrow, it's going to get warmer, too.
Yeah, it'll be quite warm. There might be times where we cool down just briefly, but overall, over the next 10 days, it looks like we'll be well above normal.
Greg Mello with the National Weather Service says temperatures are supposed to rise to the 50s in some spots this weekend. Shooting and killing a dog in Indianapolis is what a teenage boy is accused of doing. Here's John Herrick.
It was on January 23rd on the northeast side of Indy when IMPD says they heard about a dog being shot and killed by a 17-year-old boy in the middle of the day. They also say they found evidence to believe the dog did not belong to the boy, and it was not acting aggressively. The boy was found on the 28th, and investigators say he had a stolen handgun, and they believe it was that gun he used to shoot the dog. He's facing several charges, one of which is killing a domestic animal. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
More than 60 people were killed Wednesday near D.C. when a commercial plane and military helicopter collided in midair. Indiana Congressman Jefferson Shreve is a member of the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee.
Committee staff and leadership is already working on this front. I know the NTSB is, Department of Transportation. No one's waiting around.
Both U.S. and Russian figure skaters, their coaches, and family members were on board that American Airlines jet. If you're a Duke Energy customer, you may be paying a bit more per month for power. Kurt Darling reports.
Duke Energy has been given permission by the state to raise their energy rates. Duke had asked for a rate hike in April of last year of nearly $500 million in extra revenue, but regulators have given approval for just less than $400 million. Duke Energy says they're reviewing the order from regulators before they make a final decision on raising rates. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
The traffic on the 5s at 3:05. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, taking a look at the north side, eastbound 465, a little bit slow now from Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road, and inbound 69 starting to slow down. 21st to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes. Want expert tax prep? Jackson Hewitt will give you $100 to switch. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast for the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Thursday evening looks cloudy with some light rain showers, about a 70% chance of rain in your local neighborhood. Low temperatures around 42 degrees with winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, showers end in the morning hours. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8, meteorologist Junior Sudas for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
Hey, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. The latest on just what is a tragic collision. It was awful. Just an absolute devastating occurrence near Reagan Airport in D.C. last night. 67 passengers, both the jet and the helicopter, feared dead. Hammer is around 9 o'clock. A small American Airlines passenger jet colliding with a military Black Hawk helicopter, and then debris and bodies landing in the Potomac River near the airport.
Yeah, this morning at about 7:30 a.m., they had their first big press conference, and it was at that point where they made this a recovery mission and not a rescue mission.
Yeah.
Because there was a time last night where some erroneous report said there may have been 4 survivors pulled out of the water. But that turned out not to be the case, and everyone aboard the American Airlines jet, 60 passengers and 4 crew members, and the Black Hawk helicopter with 3 Army soldiers on board, feared dead in the biggest and worst U.S. aviation disaster in almost a quarter of a century.
Well, you go back to February of 2009, Hammer. I mean, look, 2009 in Buffalo, the Continental Connection flight. This happened in Buffalo. It's just a disaster, Hammer. Just of epic proportions, and the fact that the Black Hawk helicopter was involved, and we've seen other incidents of military aircraft involved in these kinds of accidents, but not with commercial aircraft.
And we're still trying to figure out how this came to be, because as the passenger jet was going in to land, the Black Hawk helicopter kind of speeds up and just crashes right into it.
I don't get it.
So a lot of questions about how this played out. I'm going to play you some audio from the air traffic controllers here in just a second. And I want to give you a heads up of what you're listening for. So you're going to hear the control tower instruct the helicopter, which is known as Pat 25. Okay. Pat 25 is the Black Hawk helicopter. They're going to refer to Pat 25. Do you have CRJ in sight? CRJ is the passenger jet. Pat 25, pass behind CRJ. And then there's like 40 seconds of silence. I've kind of edited that out. And then you're going to hear the reaction of the air traffic controller staff. So listen as they're trying to talk to the Black Hawk helicopter. They ask 2 questions. They get no response after 40 seconds. And then here's the reaction.
Pat 25, get the CRJ in sight. Pat 25, pass behind the CRJ. Did you see that?
Yep, we saw it. And everybody just hold your positions, please, on the field right now. Fire command. The accident happened in the river. Both the helicopter and the plane crashed in the river. It's east of the approach end of runway 33. All runways are closed. Nobody's landing. No one's moving at all. It was probably out in the middle of the river. I just saw a fireball and then it was just gone. So I haven't seen anything since they hit the river, but it was a CRJ and a helicopter that hit. I would say maybe a half-mile off the approach end of 33.
And as of today, the flight data recorders have not been recovered yet. Now, they know where the wreckage is, but they have not been able to find the flight data recordings to maybe give us some sort of insight on how this happened.
Did you watch the footage? I did once, and that was it. I think there's a couple different angles. They're not very clear. They're from far away, but I can't stand watching it.
You see one light come in,
yes.
and another light coming very fast, and then the fireball.
The explosion, yeah.
Literally, just, hours after being sworn in as the transportation secretary, Sean Duffy, who probably doesn't even have an office yet, he is now fully engaged in this investigation. What went on? How did it happen? This was this morning when Sean Duffy spoke to the press.
Prior to the collision, the flight paths that were being flown from the military and from American, that was not unusual for what happens in the D.C. airspace. And as this investigation moves forward, we will be able to provide more information to you about the details.
So the flight paths, according to Sean Duffy, he's the new Pete Buttigieg, right? The transportation guy. Nothing unusual about it. Now, here is Sean Duffy on blind spots that could have made a difference here.
So the question is, were there blind spots with air traffic control? I don't want to make statements about that. I don't lead into that answer. But again, I think whether it was air traffic control, whether it was military aircraft, helicopters, or the American flight, everything was standard in the lead up to the crash. Now, obviously, something happened here. You'll get more information and more details as this investigation moves forward. We'll learn what happened. But again, those who live in the D.C. area, we see military helicopters fly up and down the river. It's a standard path that they fly. They're used to aircraft landing at DCA. And there's a procedure in place because this happens every day. Something went wrong here. I look forward to the time and point when we can give you that information, but I don't want to comment on that right now.
Yeah, the D.C. airport is very busy. The runways are very short, but it's, like you heard Duffy say, everything was normal, except for the fact that the Black Hawk helicopter, for whatever reason, veered into the aircraft that was landing, by the way. I mean, you just think about what's going through your mind as you're landing in a small airplane like this was, and then all of a sudden you're gone. I hate just, even though this hardly ever happens in the United States, and this is why it's such a big deal now that it has happened, it's just such an unsettling feeling. I have my wife's traveling this week and flying all over the place, so nowhere near this, but that kind of stuff you just think about. It's a natural human response.
Families are still being notified.
Yeah.
We're slowly going to start finding out some of the names that go along with the folks that were on board. One of the victims inside the military helicopter, the captain of that Black Hawk helicopter, if you will, was a guy that had a 1-year-old at home. And it just breaks your heart, man. There was a big press conference at the White House earlier today, and it was everybody who was a major player. It was President Trump. It was Vice President Vance. It was Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. You had Sean Duffy, the Transportation Secretary, there, all in the White House press briefing room, talking, taking questions. Here is President Trump.
We are one family, and today we are all heartbroken. We're all searching for answers. We're all overcome with the grief for many who have so tragically perished, will no longer be with us. Together we take solace in the knowledge that their journey ended not in the cold waters of the Potomac, but in the warm embrace of a loving God.
So Trump goes on to speak a little bit. Now, we don't know what caused this accident, but what's going to happen now is that all things aviation are going to be reviewed, okay? All things FAA, from hiring practices to training of employees, it's all going to be under a microscope now. And that kind of takes us to this next clip of Donald Trump talking about some of the DEI hires that the FAA has brought in.
And I do want to point out that various articles that appeared prior to my entering office, and here's one, The FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. That is amazing. And then it says FAA says people with severe disabilities are most underrepresented segment of the workforce, and they want them in, and they want them. They can be air traffic controllers. I don't think so. The FAA is actively recruiting workers who suffer severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative spelled out on the agency's website. Can you imagine?
So as this investigation goes on, and again, they haven't found the black boxes yet. Maybe that will give us some more insight on what happened, but all things under FAA's umbrella are going to be investigated, Nigel.
They're going to be on the table. They should be on the table. Everything that Donald Trump mentioned there. Look, like you said, we have no idea. All we know is what happened. A Black Hawk helicopter crashed into a passenger airliner trying to land. Beyond that, I don't know. But boy, there are certainly things and certainly studies and articles that have been written in under the Obama administration, under the Biden administration, even before Obama, in terms of making gender, race, identity over merit something that is certainly should be looked at in the FAA, no doubt.
Some of the victims on that American Airlines flight were a group of young developmental figure skaters for Team USA, like the trainers, right? These were the youngsters that were potentially on the 2030 Olympic team, figure skaters. They were coming back from a competition in Wichita, Kansas. There were also 2 young world champion figure skaters from Russia on that flight as well. And what's wild, it's almost eerie, similar thing happened to like the U.S. figure skating group back in 1961. In 1961, the 18-person U.S. figure skating team was killed in a plane crash in Belgium on their way to Prague.
Wow.
So the U.S. figure skating organization has certainly seen their fair share of dark days. But right now, the recovery operations are underway in the Potomac, and families are still being notified. We do not have any information about black boxes being found yet. Matt Baer.
Southbound 65 stop and go 21st to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 465 slows from Keystone Avenue over to I-69. Traffic sponsored by The Tile Shop. Pros get more at The Tile Shop. More selection like new wood and vinyl flooring options for every budget. More perks and more service like free curbside pickup. Start getting more at The Tile Shop. Visit your local showroom today. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
We've got some great guests to talk about this story today. Coming up a little bit after 4 o'clock, Senator Jim Banks is going to join us.
Man, he flies in and out of there a lot. I think the natural question is, out of everything that we could talk about, is does this give you pause flying in and out of that area all the time, multiple times a month?
He was a passenger flying in and out, and a guy that was a pilot flying in and out is retired pilot Mike Hatton, and he's going to call into our program here in about 15 minutes to talk about the challenges of Reagan Airport in D.C. All that's coming up right now. 46 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
When it comes to retirement planning, you need a team you can trust, a financial plan that will give you peace of mind. That'll make you feel secure. That's Trajan Wealth. Matt Baer here. Hey, Trajan Wealth is your local trusted fiduciary, financial fiduciary. Starting with a foundation of mutual respect and understanding, Trajan Wealth offers tailor-made portfolios that are customized with your priorities in mind. Call 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com to set up your first consultation. It's free. Trajan Wealth will assess your risk tolerance or how much you can risk through investing. Then collaborate with you on a financial plan that offers that sense of security. A plan that's designed with only you in mind. You know you're set. The family is secure. Sleep well at night. Call the fiduciary advisors at Trajan Wealth, 317-480-4040, or visit TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun, brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
AAA not only is the best at helping you out with flat tires, roadside assistance, replacing my dead batteries at work, but they can also plan some amazing vacations. And with all this snow and ice, I'm ready for a trip to Universal Studios with the family in Florida. You know what I mean? No matter where you're headed, AAA can help you get the best price on your next vacation at the AAA Travel Expo. Saturday, February 22nd at the Ritz-Charles in Carmel.
It's free. You don't even have to be a AAA member to attend. Although members love additional benefits like 24/7, 365 roadside assistance. So save the date right now for the AAA Travel Expo 2025, Saturday, February 22nd at the Ritz-Charles in Carmel. Find your dream vacation at Indiana's favorite travel show. Bring a friend and enjoy the day. Get more information and pre-register for your chance to win a $500 AAA travel voucher at AAA.com/expo.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Up top, bike shop.
Yeah. It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messelthorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. Call 800-970-3355. 800-970-3355. 800-970-3355.
Life-changing discovery should never be left to chance. IU Indianapolis is Indiana's premier urban research university, home to 50 research centers and institutes, which means our students don't just study groundbreaking research, they make their very own breakthroughs from day one. We're here to make the future happen. Bring on tomorrow. IU Indianapolis. Discover what's next at go.iu.edu/breakthrough.
IT professionals, don't choose the wrong recycler. Choose Technology Recyclers for complete guaranteed data destruction. Why put your data at risk? You work too hard to experience a data loss by selecting the wrong recycler. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Red, white, and bowl. Presented by Jack Daniels, the Hammer and Nigel charity bowling event happening February 28th, the last day in February. It's a Friday. It's a beer sample Friday. We did this last year. I think is this the 1-year anniversary? Did we do it January 30th of 24?
I drank a lot,
Hammer?
so I can't remember,
I think
but we did it in January, that's for sure.
We've delayed it a month. We didn't delay it. We just it worked out that that February 28th is now going to be the charity event.
Right.
Oh, so, I think there's some. I think there's at Woodland Bowl. There's like some championship bowling going on.
Okay.
There's like some legit, like real, like okay, yeah, these guys are for real.
Right.
You know what I mean?
If you want to see what it's like, we posted a video of last year's a little montage video on our Facebook and Twitter. So if you go to facebook.com/Hammer and Nigel, Twitter @Hammer and Nigel, you might have to scroll down a little bit, but there's a YouTube video, and it just shows what it's about, man. Helping Hoosier veterans, drinking to the point where we don't feel our legs, and having a good time. Did we mention this bad boy is sponsored by Jack Daniels? Because I think that's important.
Here it is. Here it is. The now through the February 2nd, the U.S. Open.
Okay, that's a big deal.
At Woodland.
I went up and watched a little bit of it last year.
Yeah, that's right.
There's some celebrities that try to get in this. Like Mookie Betts of the Dodgers, really good bowler. He tries to get into it because it's the U.S. Open. There's a country singer, Kane Brown, that's a really good bowler. He was up there doing stuff. And, of course, the guys that are on the bowling tour.
And then there's us at the end of February, the last Friday in February.
Correct.
Having some drinks and having a damn good time raising money for a great cause.
Right. And I know our buddy Jerry Lopez, Indy Spanglish, he was looking for a group of Army vets to be on his lane. So if that's something you're interested in, tag him on social media, reach out to us, we'll connect you guys. But you can buy your tickets right now. You can go to the events page of WIBC.com, or I think we've got links pinned to our social media. Hammer and Nigel, Facebook, Twitter, reach out to us. We'll send you a ticket link. But, man, you better buy it quick. We're less than a month away. This thing sold out last year.
I really want to be the guy this year that has had too many drinks, and the bowling ball is maybe just a little too small for my fingers, so it's stuck on there. And I go back to just roll just a violent, vigorous roll, and the bowling ball stays on my hand, and my whole body slides down the lane.
Do a facer all the way down.
I hope that happens. I pray that happens.
The first part of that story, I'm confident it will. You will be overserved. The holding onto the ball part, I don't know. And listen, you don't have to be a good bowler.
No. That's not the point of this thing. Although there are great bowlers,
right,
that come do this.
People take this competitively, and then there are people like us that, all right, if you don't get a strike here, you're buying a pitcher. So, and I'm not supposed to say that Jack Daniels might be passing out samples because, I don't want to get anybody in trouble. So the last thing I'm going to say is that Jack Daniels will be passing out samples.
Please don't say that.
Not going to mention the samples from Jack Daniels.
Forget you heard that, please.
No. Get your tickets right now and just hang out with us, man. Let's talk some shop. Let's have a good time. We're going to do our whole show up at Woodland that day from 3 to 6. And then after that, it is on like Donkey Kong. Oh, by the way, Hammer and Nigel Tequila still available. Now, I talked to our buddy Brett Glaze yesterday.
Representative of Hiatus.
Less than 30 bottles altogether remain. So if you're going to go to one of these locations, whether it's Greenwood, whether it's Fisher's, or like the main headquarters there at Castleton, call ahead of time. Make sure they've got bottles, because as of yesterday, there were less than 30 total. Now, I don't know the breakdown for each store, so make sure you make that phone call, but it's almost gone. Almost gone. Miss Allison, I'm going to need you to weigh in on this, along with Nige.
Okay.
When was the last time each of you visited an ice cream truck? Like, has an ice cream truck been down your street recently?
That's easy. Yes, last summer. It's shady as... But, yeah.
Okay.
All the time in our neighborhood last summer, at least once or twice a week.
So that's the Zionsville area. The extended west side, Allison.
Yeah, I lived in a more rural area, so they did not come to our street, but we could hear it playing its music a couple times, a couple neighborhoods over.
Okay, now follow-up question for both of you. At any point, did you think they were government officials?
Every time.
No, I just thought, I don't know why, but the word offender kept on popping up in the back of my head, which is completely inappropriate. I don't like thinking that.
Sure.
But not a government official, no.
Okay. Dateline Las Vegas. There was an ice cream truck going down the street, but people in the neighborhood thought they were ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement vehicles. and started throwing things at the ice cream truck.
Oh, my God.
And the poor dude gets out. It's like, what? You don't like ice cream? What the hell's going on here? Take a listen to this story from Vegas.
ICE and Border Patrol don't use trucks from 1985. I'm an ice cream man, that's it. So I wanted to build something creative for my community. Nice and clean and approachable, safe for kids. That's it. Basically, be on the lookout. Las Vegas is using ice cream trucks as cover to catch illegal aliens. People will ask me if I am law enforcement or ex-law enforcement. I'm a mechanic. I built a truck.
I'm an ice cream guy. Good God. All right, coming up next, Mike Hatton will join us. He's a friend of the show.
Long time.
Retired pilot, also flew helicopters in the Army. So he's the perfect guy to get his perspective on what happened in D.C. last night. That's coming up. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here, and if you're ready to start the new year taking care of you, then my friends at Hope Plumbing are here to help. For the month of January, get softer skin and hair, spotless glassware, take better care of your home appliances, and save money with a $200 off any new water softener. Let's celebrate the new year with the gift of soft water and ditch annoying scale buildup, failing appliances, and rough skin and nails. Call my friends at Hope Plumbing today.
Howard Bailey Financial is now in Carmel on Rangeline Road. For over 20 years, we've helped people navigate their retirement journeys, and now we're bringing our experience closer to home. Visit retirecarmel.com to schedule your appointment or text Carmel to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement resource. Together, let's build the retirement you deserve. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Radar could be busy later. It's clear for now, though. There are some clouds floating through downtown. You do have temps in the mid-40s as well. Don't expect those temperatures to drop much tonight either. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:32. There are chances for rain both today and tomorrow, says Greg Mello with the National Weather Service.
But the heaviest rain should be there around the evening hours, and it looks like the heaviest rain has shifted slightly further south. We're expecting the heaviest rain to be mainly across southern portions of the state.
He says those southern portions of Indiana could wind up getting about an inch of rainfall. The further north you go, the less you'll get. No severe weather expected. President Donald Trump says diversity hiring at the FAA has made air travel less safe. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
The president is promising a swift investigation into the mid-air collision of an American Airlines jet and Army helicopter near Washington's Reagan National Airport.
We'll find out how this disaster occurred, and we'll ensure that nothing like this ever happens again.
While acknowledging the cause of the collision is still being reviewed, President Trump did say he believes diversity initiatives at the FAA have not hired the most qualified employees.
For some jobs, and not only this, but air traffic controllers, they have to be at the highest level of genius.
The president also said the crew of the Army Black Hawk helicopter should have seen the commercial jet. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Americans weigh too much. That's one of RFK Jr.'s concerns with the country's health. He's on day 2 of his Senate confirmation hearing.
Over 70% of adults and a third of children are overweight or obese. Diabetes is 10 times more prevalent than in 1960. Cancer among young people is rising by 1 or 2% per year.
RFK Jr. is President Trump's nominee for Health and Human Services Secretary. The president's picks for National Intelligence Director and the head of the FBI also have hearings today. And Ryan Walters, who recently lost his job as Purdue football's head coach, is having trouble trying to sell his nearly $5 million home. The builder, Steve Schrader Homes, is suing Walters and his wife, claiming that they didn't honor the contract they signed a couple of years ago. Walters says they were misled into signing something they didn't fully understand, so they filed a counterclaim. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. It's 3:34.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues,
jaw issues and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action, and the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different. But one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Traffic at 335. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison looking at eastbound 465. Slow, Keystone Avenue to I-69. South end of downtown. Eastbound 70 slow before and after West Street. Southbound 65 coming in tight from 21st Street to Meridian Penn. And that is just a 3-minute delay. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Transform your bathroom with Dream Baths by B. New tub or shower conversions can be installed in as little as 1 day. At financing as low as $99 a month. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thanks, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Thursday evening looks cloudy with some late rain showers, about a 70% chance of rain in your local neighborhood. Low temperatures around 42 degrees with winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, showers end in the morning hours. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8, meteorologist Drew Mercedes for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. My name is Jason Hammer. Big Nige is here.
Hello.
And again, the biggest story in America right now is this horrific mid-air crash near the Reagan Airport in D.C. Let's bring on a friend of the show, Mike Hatton. Mike, he started as a helicopter pilot in the U.S. Army, then transferred into being a commercial airline pilot for decades with United and Continental. Mike, thank you so much for taking the time. And again, normally we like to have fun when we have you on the show, but this is a little different circumstance. But based off of your experience of being both a helicopter pilot in the Army and a commercial airline pilot, your initial reactions to this awful story out of Washington.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. I echo your sentiment that wish it was under better circumstances. But wow, my initial reaction is for the families. This is a terrible tragedy for them, and thoughts, prayers, my heart, everything goes out to them.
Mike, you wonder how something like this could have happened. The conditions were clear. These were normal traffic patterns, as far as I'm reading and understanding. The aircraft was landing, the helicopter, the Black Hawk military copter this was sort of a normal route. Off the top of your head, what are some things that may have caused something like this?
Well, anything I say, of course, would be speculation at this point, but we will find out at some time. Some things do come to mind. I'm human. Everybody's human. You can't help but think that. First of all, this was a nighttime flight. Night is a different environment. Even though there is less air traffic going on, the environment gets a little harder. Your night vision isn't as good as your day vision. There are many lights on the ground. Sometimes airplanes can blend in with those. You may have seen the airplane, and 2 seconds later you turn your head and you turn back and you can't find it in the lights. The weather was clear. You mentioned that. Believe it or not, that is one of the most high-threat times. You can relax and you can become complacent. We also know that the runway was changed for this airplane now at the last moment, about a 4-mile final, I believe it was. And that requires maneuvering, and the winds were pretty high, so the airplane was going to be bounced around a little bit and moved. So their focus, I'm sure, had shifted entirely on lining up with the runway and, making sure they executed this runway change properly.
Are there any blind spots in these Black Hawk helicopters? That's one area of discussion that I've seen on social media a little bit. I have no idea. I've never flown a Black Hawk helicopter. Are there blind spots at all?
Well, I'm not familiar with the Black Hawk. I flew the UH-1 Huey. The Black Hawk was just coming into service when I was leaving the Army. But having said that, there is a blind spot in just about anything you will fly when you're in a turn, or if you're looking out to the side or the rear, just like there is in a car. So if they were turning, if the airplane was turning, I'm sure they both experienced blind spots.
We're speaking with retired commercial airline pilot and helicopter pilot Mike Hatton here on the Hammer and Nigel Show. Been coming on with us for years. Mike, this is the first commercial airline disaster in this country since, I believe, 2009. I think something happened in Buffalo with a smaller aircraft carrier. I do see incidents from time to time involving military aircraft and training exercises. Why is that?
Well, the accident rate has been driven down significantly in commercial aircraft since around the mid-'90s when crew resource management and threat and error management training was implemented. And that has driven those down significantly. I would attribute that as the main reason that the accident rate has gone down in airplanes. To your question about military aircraft, why don't we see accidents there? Well, it's a different environment. They're training for a different thing. They're trained to push the envelope of the aircraft, the airplanes or helicopters. And, occasionally something breaks, something happens. They get outside of the envelope, and they're just accidents like that. The accident rate is lower than you might think, though, in the military, but it's just more publicized, I think.
Mike, let's talk a little bit about the Reagan Airport. Having flown in and out of that place a number of times, what's your experience of dealing with the Reagan Airport in D.C.?
Well, first of all, in my opinion, it's when I was flying there, it's one of the most challenging airports in the United States. You have prohibited areas, not restricted areas. Restricted areas have restrictions, just like they sound, things you can still fly in that you can't do. These prohibited areas, you do not want to find yourself in one of those. We're talking about the White House. We're talking about the Pentagon. We're talking about Washington Monument, the Capitol, other things. So you have to maneuver around those, and you're turning constantly as you're approaching that airport. You're basically staying over the river. What happens typically, and now we know that it happened to this flight, is you'll get a runway change at the last minute. And 4 miles away might sound like not at the last minute, but that's pretty close into the airport. So you are maneuvering. You're maneuvering in high winds, and you have a lot of traffic and a lot of things on your mind at that point. That's a constant challenge at that airport. That runway change happens quite frequently.
And Mike, it seems like we keep hearing about these near misses, the near collisions over the last 4-5 years. And thankfully, it's always been a positive story. It was a near miss where everybody was okay. That wasn't the case this time. But what's going on here where we've got stories of so many of these planes getting close together? Is this an air traffic control issue? Is this a pilot issue? Combination of both here? What do you think?
Well, that's been on everybody's mind, and that has raised red flags with me, to be quite honest. What I've seen and what I've read, it's been mostly, I think, a pilot issue. There's very few controller issues on this. Another thing, the reporting for this has gotten better over the years. It's called TCAS, Traffic Collision Avoidance System, is on the airplane. It shows you when you're close to another airplane, if you get within a certain distance and a certain speed of each other, the algorithm will give you an alert and tell you to pull up, climb, or descend, turn, whatever you need to do to avoid that accident. I don't believe the military has installed those in helicopters yet, but they would have seen that airplane, and maybe they saw it at the last second. I don't know, but that is one of the factors reporting as far as near misses go. But they have increased. I will concede that.
Mike, last thing here before we let you go. When you're doing training to become a commercial airline pilot, when you're going through the training and the program, is there anything at all that is part of the training program that teaches you to deal with situations like this, where maybe there's another plane coming at you, there's another chopper coming at you?
Well, first of all, every airplane I've ever flown, which is DC-10, MD-80, 737, 757, 767, 777, and 787, I have had to fly in the simulator multiple approaches in and out of Reagan National. That's an airport that everyone trains on. And to the second part of your question about collision avoidance, yes, every year, every time we go back for any kind of training, whether it's initial or recurrent, we practice traffic collision avoidance like that. And it's usually a surprise maneuver, not one where we say, okay, this is what we're going to do now. It's usually a surprise maneuver, and we talk about it, we debrief it, and we train heavily for that.
Mike Hatton is a retired commercial airline pilot, also flew helicopters in the U.S. Army. Mike, we always enjoy our conversations together. We'll get you back soon, and hopefully we'll talk about something a little bit more fun, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us.
That'd be great, and thank you. And again, I appreciate your time.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
American Standard Heating and Air, truly built to a higher standard. I wouldn't use anything but American Standard heating and air equipment. I have an American Standard air conditioner, same with my furnace, and I wouldn't use anybody to service that equipment other than local independent American Standard dealers.
How about B&W HVAC, plumbing, and electrical? Join B&W's Premier Club today and stay ahead of potential breakdowns down the road, costly repairs. Premier Club members, you get routine maintenance, priority scheduling, exclusive discounts. You save money by being a Premier Club member. Call B&W and ask about the Premier Club today. 317-214-0108. That's 317-214-0108. Or visit bplusw.com. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
It's Chimney Solutions Indiana 10% off special going on now. Chimney sweeps and inspections included.
This is our 10th year in business. To thank all of our customers, we're offering a full 10% off all services. Don't let your fireplace and chimney be a headache. Let our team help you enjoy your fireplace this season.
Call the experts. Call Chimney Solutions Indiana at 317-757-6979 or visit chimneyindy.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Dads happen. There's a whole lot of stuff that can mess up the look of your vehicle. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. Hail baseballs, kids, fender benders, shopping carts, flying cows, angry exes, and anything else that leaves dents. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
If you're drowning in unresolved tax debt, know this. The IRS can place a lien on your home, garnish your paycheck, and levy your bank account. That's catastrophe for you.
We interrupt this message to bring you some good news about your tax debt. We're TaxRise, experienced tax professionals who can help you seek relief programs and work directly with the IRS on your behalf. Find out if you qualify with a free consultation. 888-788-4220. Eric from South Carolina owed over $74,000. We helped reduce it to $798. Troy, a disabled veteran, owed over $142,000 and settled at $500. We've helped thousands of clients with their tax problems, and we're ready to help you. So take the drama out of your tax debt and rise above your situation with TaxRise. For your free consultation, call 888-788-4220. 888-788-4220.
Results vary, not guaranteed. Client names changed. TaxRise is not IRS affiliated or a law firm.
Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Indie Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go. Would you like fries with that? Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Matt Baer, what's up?
Eastbound 465 slow, Keystone Avenue over to I-69. And eastbound 70 slowing down into downtown from the south split back to Harding right now. Not a delay, a little bit of a slow crash downtown west of Missouri. Traffic sponsored by Indie Decorative Concrete. Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, we got some gray skies, 45 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Senator Jim Banks going to be calling into the show here in just about 15 minutes or so, so we will have Senator Banks on. In the meantime, can I get some mood music, please, Allison?
You're all I need, my love, my Valentine.
Tell me you didn't play the bejesus out of that when you were playing New Hit Country at the Bear, Nige.
Martina McBride? Yeah, probably. I'm sure, yeah.
I think, what,
chorus, but
16 days to Valentine's Day?
That's why we're playing that,
Yeah,
I guess.
My Valentine. And according to a new survey, 61% of single people say they'd rather go out for a first date on Valentine's Day because it's a very popular date for young adults. You a big romantic Valentine's Day guy?
No. I mean, look, have you listened to a word I said?
Usually no.
Look at me. You don't even look at me. You don't listen to me. My wife doesn't. No, our Valentine's Day is usually for the kids now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's Lindsay is like, do not spend one dime on a card, on chocolates, on flowers. It's, lost its luster a little bit.
Yeah. Save that money and we'll go to Florida. Save that money. We'll do a trip somewhere.
But of course, I'll something for the daughter or something for the kids.
Okay. Well, that's cool. If you do it for the kids, that's all right. But yeah, I think you reach a certain age as an adult where if you get pressured into Valentine's Day, that's not the right one for you. Run. File for divorce, do what you have to do. Because if you've been married as long as I have, 22 years, and all of a sudden out of left field, she's like, hey, where's my Valentine's Day card? I think I was being punked or something, a camera was around.
Where's my chocolate shaped like a big heart? No.
Now, if you're looking for maybe a greeting card, maybe that's enough, to give to somebody. Here at the Hammer and Nigel Show, we have a list of rejected Hallmark Valentine's Day cards.
Every year here at Hallmark, we're forced to reject thousands of less than quality Valentine's Day cards.
This Valentine's Day, please try to ignore the sign that says Predator taped to my door.
Some simply don't meet the high standards of a quality greeting card company.
I wanted to share the love we both found, so please don't think I'm a jerk. But I took your panties and passed them around to all of my friends at work.
But now, for a limited time only, you can purchase these factory second greeting cards for up to 50% off.
When we're making love, it's really quite nice. I guess because you're charging me one half the price.
This year, we're giving you the best Valentine's Day gift of all. A huge savings right here.
I think I love you mostly because I secretly sleep with your sister.
Hey!
I really can't tell you which one it was, but one of you gave me a blister.
Oh, come on! That's a little too extreme, but the countdown is on until Valentine's Day.
Come on.
Nige, if you're looking for a reason to drink tonight, happy 74th birthday to Phil Collins.
Oh, wow. Awesome. I'm glad he's still around. He was in very poor health for a long time, battled alcoholism, fought back, and he is, I don't know if he's playing the drums a lot anymore, but he's still around.
So you mentioned the drums, that iconic moment in the air tonight.
Yeah.
He talked about that in an interview.
By the time we got into recording it, I just did a fill into it, you know. I mean, like the take before would have been something different. We decided to keep that take.
I forgot about this.
It sounds like a seal.
That's Phil Collins describing the drum fill that he was using in the air tonight.
It's also the sound of people that voted for Joe Biden. Happy 74th birthday to Phil Collins. He's got all of his faculties. He's cogent. Senator Jim Banks coming up next. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Where can you kick off the new year with big savings on gig speed? Only with Xfinity, now through January 30th. Get gig internet at home for $25 a month for 1 year when you add an unlimited mobile line, which connects you to gig speed Wi-Fi on the road. Act fast today and save more than $650 over AT&T and Verizon in your first year. Plus, hurry and take advantage because right now you can also get a free 5G phone with trade-in. So save big and stay connected to what you love with fast gig speed internet and mobile. From home to hotspots, this new year, it's all about gig speeds and big savings. Don't wait and get gig speed internet. Spend less green and switch to Xfinity. Go to Xfinity.com/gig savings to learn more. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. $40 internet discount applied to mobile bill. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon Fiber Gig Plus 1 Unlimited Welcome Line and AT&T Fiber Gig Plus 1 Unlimited Starter Line. Xfinity internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Attention Indianapolis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly. It's all through Medicaid, and as an Indianapolis resident, it's 100% free to you. New to Medicaid? The Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the Indianapolis area, this service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 463-232-7342, 463-232-7342, 463-232-7342.
Freedom Care, we're here for you. That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
If your loved one has stopped seeing friends because hearing loss prevents the use of the telephone, please help them by visiting RelayIndiana.com. RelayIndiana.com provides captioned telephones that allow the hard of hearing to have phone conversations through voice recognition technology. The other person's words appear on an easy-to-read screen. Help your loved one stay in touch with their family and friends by getting them the CapTel Caption Telephone from Relay Indiana. Learn more at RelayIndiana.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, rain and warmer weather is what you can expect the next few days here in Indiana. A teenager's been arrested by police in Indianapolis for shooting a dog about 7 days ago. And it's a homecoming of sorts planned for Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark. They're heading back to Iowa. That's all coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
No stone unturned. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That pledge from the chair of the National Transportation vowing to find the answers to last night's mid-air collision between an American Airlines jet and Black Hawk helicopter in D.C., sending the wreckage of both into the Potomac River.
We are going to conduct a thorough investigation of this entire tragedy, looking at the facts.
Jennifer Homendy says that'll take some time. No black box recorders have been recovered yet. And the NTSB's Todd Inman says they won't speculate about the air traffic controllers who were on duty.
Our investigators are continuing to pull all that information. Their personnel records, their files, where they were at, whether they were fatigued. All that information will be part of that investigative process.
This after President Trump accused his predecessor of lowering hiring standards, suggesting the FAA's diversity programs have made air travel less safe.
Have common sense, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't. We want brilliant people doing this.
At a briefing earlier saying he puts safety first, not policy, and the president just signing a memorandum ordering an immediate assessment of aviation safety and an elevation of competence over DEI. An FAA report obtained by the Associated Press says staffing was not normal in the air traffic control tower at the time of the collision. The helicopter involved was on a training mission and may have been flying at a higher altitude than normal.
Flight ceiling for helicopters in the D.C. capital region is 200 feet. It's not clear how high they were flying. Jonathan Koziel, the Army Aviation Directorate Chief of Staff, told reporters here at the Pentagon the pilots and crew were familiar with the route and area and had been with the unit for some time.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin, the defense chief, saying an elevation issue with the helicopter is being investigated. 67 people killed in the crash. A late sell-off and then rebound on Wall Street. The Dow up 168 at the bell. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's only going to get warmer. 44 degrees currently with cloudy skies downtown. Some rain looking like it's headed your way from the west. Low of 40 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Rain and warmer weather is what you can expect the next couple of days.
Yeah, it'll be quite warm. There might be times where we cool down just briefly, but overall, over the next 10 days, it looks like we'll be well above normal.
Greg Mello with the National Weather Service says some parts of the states could have temperatures up in the 50s this weekend. IMPD officers have arrested a teenager who they believe shot and killed a dog. John Herrick reports.
It was on January 23rd on the northeast side of Indy when IMPD says they heard about a dog being shot and killed by a 17-year-old boy in the middle of the day. They also say they found evidence to believe the dog did not belong to the boy and it was not acting aggressively. The boy was found on the 28th, and investigators say he had a stolen handgun, and they believe it was that gun he used to shoot the dog. He's facing several charges, one of which is killing a domestic animal. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You've probably heard by now about the helicopter and plane collision that killed over 60 people near D.C. last night. Indiana Congressman Jefferson Shreve is a member of the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee.
Committee staff and leadership is already working on this front. I know the NTSB is, Department of Transportation. No one's waiting around.
Figure skaters from both the U.S. and Russia, along with some of their coaches and family members, are on board that American Airlines flight. Ryan Walters, who was recently fired as Purdue's football coach, is being sued by the company that built his home in Indiana. Schrader Homes accuses Walters and his wife of not entirely fulfilling their contract. The couple has filed a counterclaim, saying they were misled into signing something they didn't fully understand. It also claimed to never have finalized the design or cost of the home. And Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark and the rest of her team will get to play a preseason game in a place that means a lot to her. The team made the announcement on social media today.
Exciting news, Fever fans. We are coming to Iowa City.
They'll be playing that game against the Brazilian national team May 4th at Carver Hawkeye Arena. That's over at the University of Iowa, where, if you remember, not that long ago, Clark was playing college ball. She played all 4 years in college at Iowa, made the back-to-back national championship appearances before falling short in each one and then eventually becoming the number 1 draft pick, which is what brought her to the capital city. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
The traffic on the 5s at 4:05. How are the roads looking, Matt Bear?
Harrison, we do have a crash in Greenwood. This is southbound Madison Avenue. That lane is shut down right now at Wiley Street because of a crash, and police are on scene investigating right now. Looking at inbound 65 stop and go traffic 29th at 2 Meridian Penn for a 5-minute delay. Eastbound 70 slow. Harding to Meridian, Illinois for a 5-minute delay. Westbound 465 on the north side stop and go traffic from Meridian past Ditch Road. And eastbound 465 stop and go traffic Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Crash on the northwest side, that's Lafayette Roads at Tibbs, and crash downtown west at Missouri. Traffic sponsored by PureTalk.com. It's time to ditch big wireless. Pure Talk gives you unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month on their 5G network. Dial pound 250 and say keyword switch now to save 50% off your first month. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thanks, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Thursday evening looks cloudy with some light rain showers, about a 70% chance of rain in your local neighborhood. Low temperatures around 42 degrees with winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, showers end in the morning hours. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8, meteorologist Drew Mercedes for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it. Hey, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a special guest on the hotline.
Senator Jim Banks from the great state of Indiana joins us. Senator, I wish we were talking about happier stuff here, but we're going to start with the disaster in Washington, D.C., the passenger jet, the Black Hawk helicopter. Take me through your thoughts and everything that you're hearing.
Well, obviously, a very sad situation. We just found out minutes ago that a Hoosier was on that plane, a recent Indiana University graduate, Azra Hussein, whose husband was on a viral video last night. He was at the airport waiting for his wife. At that point, we didn't know that his wife was from Carmel, Indiana, but it hits close to home. I fly in and out of this airport every week and have hundreds of times, and you see Black Hawks flying around the Washington, D.C. area, in and out of military bases and the Pentagon, which is right next to the airport. We don't have all the facts yet, so it's premature to say what went wrong, whether it was an air traffic control mistake or sounds like mistakes were made by the Black Hawk pilot. But it's at the end of the day, it's a very sad situation. We're going to wait to get all of the facts and do whatever we can to make sure something like that never happens again.
And Senator, you've spent time obviously in passenger jets, but your military background, you've been in military transports as well, correct?
I have. I obviously, when I served in Afghanistan, flew on a number of Black Hawk flights in theater, and I can't imagine what these families are going through, of the 3 service members' families, and then the dozens of families involved on the plane. And this is the first time that we've had a plane crash in the United States since 2001. So, thank God this doesn't, in our country, doesn't happen more often, but a terrible travesty that we have to get the facts, we have to learn from it, and we have to make sure it doesn't happen again. They've recently grown Reagan Airport and added a new terminal, and there are more flights coming in and out of it. And it's a great airport. I've flown out of a lot of bad airports, and Reagan Airport is one of the greatest airports in the country to fly in and out of, and obviously important to our nation's capital. But we have to fix whatever went wrong there to make sure it doesn't happen again.
I want to go back to something you said a moment ago, because I think that's important, and I think a lot of people may be hearing this for the first time. You can confirm there were Indiana folks on this flight.
Yeah, I can, and a lot of people saw the video of her husband last night. He was at the airport waiting for his wife, and a news reporter approached him, and he shared the text message, the last text message with his wife as she was in fear landing, and she texted him one last time. He as well, the husband is an Indiana graduate, and his wife is from Carmel, Indiana, and we just found out a little bit ago that she's one of the deceased who was on the flight.
Heartbreaking stuff. We're speaking with Senator Jim Banks. One more thing on this, and then we'll move on to the Senate confirmation hearings. It was, Nigel and I were talking about this off the air. It was refreshing, and I don't know if that's the right word, but to see all of the leadership of our nation in a press conference today. There was the president, there was the vice president, there was the secretary of defense, the travel secretary, transportation secretary, all there in the White House press briefing room, talking, taking questions. It's been a while since we've had that type of transparency.
I mean, and thank God that we just confirmed the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, who I served with in the House. Thank God. I mean, he's only been on the job. He was on the job for hours, and the Democrats have been blocking all of these nominees from being confirmed in a timely way. So it's holding up. It held up Pete Hegseth to get to the Pentagon. It backed us up to get Sean Duffy to the Department of Transportation. We're trying to get all of these other cabinet secretaries confirmed, but Sean Duffy was confirmed just hours before this happened. I'm glad that we had a serious person, a confirmed secretary who was at the department to provide leadership. That's what we need to do for all of these departments. I mean, these things are happening, are major issues in our country, at home and abroad, and we need serious people in these cabinet positions confirmed. So President Trump has his people in place to take care of situations just like this one. I think that's to me that struck home why all this really matters. That's what I'm doing in the Senate right now. We had the hearing with RFK Jr. and the Health Care Committee that I'm on earlier today, and then before that I was in the Armed Services Committee where we heard from President Trump's nominee to be the Secretary of the Army. And in the Senate under Republican control, we're racing to try to confirm all these nominees to get President Trump's people in place so they can do their job. And you have something happen like what happened last night. It strikes home to me why all that's really important, that we do it in a timely way.
Senator, I know you're on the committee with RFK Jr. Your initial thoughts. I think I asked you this a couple of weeks ago, and some of your Democratic counterparts just kind of go nuts. And I can just hear you rolling your eyes. I because I'm projecting, and I can't believe what I'm hearing. Just initial thoughts on RFK Jr. and his thoughts, Make America Healthy Again, and his possible role in Donald Trump's cabinet. How did you feel? What did you think being on that committee?
Let me be very clear. I roll my eyes at some of these Republicans too.
Okay.
Good point. Very fair enough. Yes,
fair enough.
Some of that today in the RFK hearing, where I wondered which team are you on? I mean, President Trump just won a historic national election. He won the popular vote, and one of the reasons why is because of this Make America Healthy Again movement. The Maha moms from Indiana and around the nation who back RFK Jr. to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services to focus on making our country healthy again. And this is what I said in the hearing today when I questioned RFK Jr. And at the beginning I made this point: if we don't vote to confirm RFK Jr., we're thumbing our nose at all of these people who voted for Donald Trump because Donald Trump said RFK Jr. is going to play a major role in my administration. That was part of the deal. And there are still a few Republicans who are threatening not to vote for him. And my message to them is, if you vote against him, you're sticking your finger in the eye of all of these voters who that elected Donald Trump for this specific reason. So I had a good back and forth. I've met with RFK privately. We had the public hearing today. He had a public hearing before one committee yesterday and then before our committee today. So he had 2 full days of hearings where he got grilled by these crazy Democrats. And to your point a minute ago, these Democrats all loved him 2 years ago.
Yes,
He's the biggest deal in the Kennedy family, and he's friends with all of them. I mean, he was a college roommate of Sheldon Whitehouse from Rhode Island. I mean, these they go way back, and now what Senator Whitehouse is up there grilling him and telling him how awful he is. I can't. If you're RFK Jr. sitting there, you got to be thinking about all the text messages these Democrats send him, all the times they've hung out with their families, and just how big of a fraud a lot of these Democrats are that loved him because he's a Kennedy and supported him before, and now merely just because he's Donald Trump's pick to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services, they're against him. I'll tell you what, if he would have 4 years ago, if he would have been Joe Biden's pick to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services, they all would have praised him. They all would have agreed with him, what he's saying on vaccines and other issues. And now just because he's Donald Trump's guy, they're against him.
And I think Donald Trump went through the exact same thing. Like Oprah used to love Donald Trump, and the Clintons used to love Donald Trump.
Yeah, same with J.D. Vance and his success with his book and his memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. He was the darling of Hollywood, right, Senator? That's right. Yeah, I mean,
that's right. President Trump, after he left office 4 years ago, he actually published a book. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It's really brilliant, of all of these letters from Oprah and all these celebrities that sent him letters and told him how great he was, and he published it because he wanted to show how hypocritical they are. They're a bunch of frauds, and I think you see that with what RFK Jr. is going through. I'm voting to confirm him. It's not a difficult choice. What he stands for, what he's focused on doing right now. This is what I talked with him about in the hearing today. Nearly 75% of our nation's kids aren't eligible to serve in our military because they're obese. And when you think about the national security threat of an obese nation, we have big issues that we need to focus on. And RFK Jr. and President Trump are the first leaders in my lifetime who have been very focused on that.
Well, Senator, we always appreciate you taking some time to join us. And don't be afraid to go over there and yell at some of those Republicans. I'm using air quotes here on behalf of the Hammer and Nigel show for us, all right?
You got it.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Senator Jim Banks joining us. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
5-minute delay coming southbound 65 from 29th to Meridian Bed. Eastbound 70 now on an 8-minute delay from Belmont into the south split. Southbound 31 loaded up exiting to 465 from 116th Street down to the 31 Meridian interchange. Eastbound 465 slow roll from Keystone Avenue past Allisonville Road. Crash downtown west at Missouri. Crash on the northwest side Lafayette Road at Tibbs Avenue. And southbound Madison Avenue shut down in Greenwood just north of Main Street. That's at Wiley Street because of a crash. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Coming up here in just about 15 minutes, Patrick Casey is going to join us. Smart guy, great writer. You can see some of his stuff in his Substack, or he writes for The Blaze from time to time. He did a deep dive into the hiring practices of the FAA. Now, again, we don't know what caused this accident, but because we don't know, I think everything is on the table here. Let's look at everything going on with the FAA, and my man Patrick, he did a great breakdown and you're going to probably be surprised at how easy it has been to get a job where your life is on the line here. We're going to talk about that coming up in just a little bit. Is This Anything? Next.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, bike shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messethorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. Call 800-970-3355. 800-970-3355. 800-970-3355.
Blood, sweat, tears. At Bill Estes, we know it takes hard work and years of doing the right thing to build a business people can depend on. That's why we don't make empty promises and expect your trust. Estes earns it. From Ford F-150s and Toyota Tacomas to Ram 1500s and Chevy Silverados, we have the trucks you'll love at prices you can believe in. But don't just take our word for it. Your trust means something. Estes earns it. BillEstes.com.
Health gives you the ability to love more, feel more, be more. Health gives you the ability to live an extraordinary life. Because every day, no matter the challenges, is a chance to breathe, laugh until your belly aches, cry because you care so much, and experience everything that makes your life truly extraordinary. For 150 years, Franciscan Health has been there, watching extraordinary lives unfold. Love your extraordinary life. Here's how TaxRise saved Yvonne over 99% on what she owed the IRS.
I got a letter from the IRS saying that I owed $69,000, and I had no idea what to do. That's when I contacted you guys.
Our tax professionals at TaxRise jumped into action. They helped Yvonne file her back taxes and get into compliance, but they didn't stop there. They negotiated directly with the IRS to fight for her case.
Effective immediately, the IRS has accepted. All they want in return is $100.
Thank you guys so much. I can't even explain how grateful I am.
We're so happy we got Yvonne the relief she deserved. We've helped thousands of clients find solutions to their tax problems, and we're ready to help you. To find out if you qualify for a tax relief program, call TaxRise today, 888-829-0991. For a free consultation, call 888-829-0991, 888-829-0991.
Results vary, not guaranteed, uncompensated testimonial. TaxRise is not IRS affiliated or a law firm.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Come on.
Big Nige, is this anything? 72-year-old bus driver in Wisconsin was arrested on multiple charges, including operating while intoxicated after driving erratically and not letting kids off the bus. Here's audio of the kids freaking out on the bus, some of the 911 radio call, two students talking about the experience.
What is going on?
Server 1 apparently didn't stop at the last 8 stops and those students screaming in the background.
We were screaming, "Stop the bus, stop the bus, stop the bus." I was scared because he didn't stop at any of the first few stops, and I was scared that the other kids weren't going to get to go home.
We were just like getting mad over little stuff.
Yeah. Did you hear the 911 operator? 8 stops. He didn't. This person, I don't know if it's man or woman, did not stop at the last 8 stops.
Did they stop at any stop signs or stop lights?
Almighty. That would freak me out. Look, I know, like, we've been talking a lot about aviation. I think 65, 67 is mandatory retirement age for commercial pilots. Should there be a retirement mandate for bus drivers? Obviously, yeah, you can't be drunk. You can't be drinking while driving a school bus.
Doesn't matter how old you are.
72 years old, though, seems like a number to me. Well, I don't know, man.
I've got mixed feelings because Mario Andretti was driving the 2-seater, and he was older than hell, and he still had it. Maybe it should be based on your skill level. I don't know.
Point.
But again, Mario wasn't drunk out there doing the 2-seater ride.
There weren't any drinks involved. What do you think the 72-year-old bus driver had in the glove compartment there in the bus?
Oh, I bet it was a little
pint of what?
Oh, it had to be a little whiskey, probably going into coffee. A little Irish coffee,
you think
maybe.
So?
That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
That sounds like an old guy drink. If you're a 72-year-old old guy, it's an alcoholic. Hit us up at the Hammer and Nigel show and let us know what you drink at Hammer and Nigel. I just got a visit from Nigel from the future. Is this anything? A school in California was forced to cancel classes indefinitely because somebody stole all the copper wiring from the school, knocking out the power. Here's the superintendent talking about the hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage to the school.
Upon further examination, we discovered someone had broken in and has stripped all our copper wiring out of the breakers, essentially leaving the campus dark. We're not flush with a bunch of money to all of a sudden replace, thousands of feet of wiring, copper wiring. Right now, we have an estimate of it'll be somewhere between $150,000 to $250,000 just to get this campus back up.
Oh, man. If you're a kid at the school and you find out that you don't have to go to school because of, they stole the copper wiring, and, you're a kid, you don't know what that means. Right. Are you kind of like, all right, okay.
I think you're excited for a little while, like COVID. You're probably excited for a little bit, but then after like day 5 and you haven't seen your friends and your parents are making you do chores and it sucks, you're like, you know what? I'd rather be back at school.
No, my kids were never wanting to go back to school during COVID. Are you kidding me?
Really?
No, they didn't want to go back. No.
Not at all?
Eventually, but then you had to strap on face diapers on their domes, and then they really didn't want to go back to school. Now, back to this situation. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage done to the school. How much money can you make on copper wiring on the black market? Would you know, Hammer, you and I decided to say, hey, they're not paying us enough at Radio 1. We're going to go steal some copper wiring out of school.
Okay.
Okay? We made it that far. We made it, okay, we've got the copper wiring.
Right.
What then?
I think we take it to a pawn shop. Okay?
Like, where they sell used bicycles and guns and guitars?
Listen, crackheads in neighborhoods steal copper wiring all the time, and it ends up in pawn shops. So I would imagine you take it from the school. They're not going to ask you where it came from. Like, stealing copper wiring is a thing. This happens, like, in every neighborhood.
I understand that, but I wouldn't know where to go to buy weed right now at this point. That's the most common thing in the world.
What's the next question? It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Get a bottle of Barkeep vodka. It's local. These guys truly have made a better product than the big top shelf vodka brands. It is the smoothest vodka we've ever tasted. Again, just a better value than almost all the other top shelf vodkas.
Barkeep vodka is made in Indiana, distilled with corn from Indiana farmers. It's a top shelf vodka, but it's sold at a low price. Pick up a bottle at grocery stores, liquor stores, or go to barkeepvodka.com.
The holidays are over, and the new year is here, making it the perfect time to think about the future. More specifically, it's the perfect time to think about your financial future. Right now, Howard Bailey Financial is offering a free retirement toolkit, a comprehensive guide designed to help you plan, save, and jumpstart the retirement you deserve. To get your free copy today, text FUTURE to 888-262-1104 and download your free retirement toolkit. Start 2025 off with a gift to yourself, filled with all the tools you need to plan for a positive and purpose-filled future. Just text FUTURE to 888-262-1104 to start planning today. Make this new year your year to invest in yourself and secure a brighter tomorrow, starting today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
I guess it's better than snow. Cloudy and 44 degrees downtown. Rain is on the way from the west. According to radar, 40 degrees is your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:30. There's some chances for rain both tonight and tomorrow, says Greg Mello with the National Weather Service.
And rain chances will then linger into Friday as well, but really the heaviest rain we're expecting will be later this afternoon and into the evening hours.
Mello says warmer weather's also on the way with temperatures potentially reaching the 50s this weekend. And keep the politics out of the FBI, says Kash Patel, who's appearing today before the Senate Judiciary Committee for his confirmation hearing to become the next FBI director.
There should be no politics in the FBI, and having been a victim of the weaponization of law enforcement against me, I know what that feels like, and if I'm confirmed, I will make sure no American feels that sleight of hand ever again.
The top Democrat on the committee, Illinois Senator Dick Durbin, told Patel he thinks he lacks the integrity for the job. RFK Jr. is on day 2 of his confirmation process. Here's Fox's Ryan Schmelz.
For a second day in a row, Robert Kennedy Jr. made his pitch for making America healthy again.
Today, Americans' overall health is in grievous condition.
New Hampshire Democrat Maggie Hassan among a number of senators on the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee who criticized past comments from Kennedy on issues like vaccines.
Because he's relitigating and churning settled science, so we can't go forward.
The Health and Human Services Secretary nominee has tried to reassure senators he is not anti-vaccine and says he won't use his office to discourage people from getting vaccines for polio and measles. Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
The Indiana Fever are already scheduling a preseason game.
We are thrilled to announce that the Indiana Fever will face off against the Brazilian national team in a preseason exhibition at Carver Hawkeye Arena.
The announcement made on social media today means Caitlin Clark gets to return to the same building where she played college ball May 4th. If you want to go, tickets will be available through the University of Iowa. And at the closing bell today, stocks up. Dow increasing by 168 to 44,882. The Nasdaq up by 49 to close at 19,681. And the S&P 500 up by 31 to 6,071. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:32.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
The traffic at 433. What's going on, Matt Baer?
Harrison looking at eastbound 465 stop and go traffic. Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Construction delay heading up to Noblesville. It's northbound 69 from Cynthia Ann Road up to State Road 13. Left lane closed. Eastbound 70 from the west side stopped. Harding Street into the south split. That is a 15-minute delay. Southbound 65 stop and go traffic from 21st to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Transform your bathroom with Dream Baths by B. New tub or shower conversions can be installed in as little as 1 day and at financing as low as $99 a month. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Thursday evening looks cloudy with some light rain showers, about a 70% chance of rain in your local neighborhood. Low temperatures around 42 degrees with winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, showers end in the morning hours. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8, meteorologist Junior Sutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hey, it's the Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the hotline.
Fascinating thread on Twitter that I saw earlier today. Patrick Casey, he's a writer and host of Restoring Order. You can find it on Substack. Also at Restore Order USA on Twitter. Some of his work's been featured in The Blaze. Patrick, you did a deep dive into the hiring process of the FAA and air traffic controllers. Now, we're not saying that this is the reason why the accident happened in D.C., but if we're having this conversation, this open conversation about air safety, hell, even Donald Trump mentioned it earlier when he did that briefing from the White House. This is something that I think people need to know about. Tell me a little bit about what you found with some of the hiring practices.
Sure, and I'm glad you pointed out that we don't really know yet what the cause of this tragic crash was. But when we don't know, it's okay to speculate. It's okay to throw stuff up at the wall and propose, theories of what might have happened. And in this case, the DEI explanation is absolutely one worth considering. And the facts that we'll get into here, I think, are worth knowing regardless of what happened. So thoughts and prayers, obviously, to the victims and to the families of the victims of this terrible crash. So, yeah, the history of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, at the FAA is it goes back a while, but one of the main turning points was in 2013. Barack Obama appointed a man named Michael Huerta to the position of FAA administrator. Huerta basically criticized the existing standards of the time on the grounds that they didn't promote diversity. And so a quick look at those standards. So the FAA used to have a CTI program. So it worked with 36 colleges to educate future air traffic controllers. These colleges offer 2- and 4-year degrees requiring courses in air traffic control and aviation administration. And it also had a rigorous skills test. So all of this stuff is selecting for, it was very meritocratic. It was selecting for intelligence, hard work, the kind of things that you want the person who is ensuring that your airplane doesn't crash into the other airplane, either takeoff, landing in the air. But that apparently wasn't really what the Obama administration was interested in. So Huerta announced plans after he took over in 2013 to transform the FAA into a more diverse, and I'm quoting here, transform the FAA into a more diverse and inclusive workplace that reflects, understands, and relates to the diverse customers. So as we can see there, that's just pure left-wing ideological jargon. That is a concern that is separate from wanting to have the best people employed as air traffic controllers. So his solution for that was to stop prioritizing these CTI graduates. Right, this was the plan where they worked with FAA worked with colleges to get the best people who are kind of on a fast track to they're on the path to becoming air traffic controllers. So instead, they kind of pushed that stuff to the side and they introduced something called a behavioral questionnaire, the BQ they call it. And when you look into the BQ, it's infuriating what they did. So the BQ, it's very ambiguous, right? Instead of that skills test, which was, basically an IQ test, just making sure you're intelligent enough to do the job, the BQ is very ambiguous.
Patrick, just let me stop you right there. Just a real quick question. What happened to those CTI graduates, those 3,000 qualified candidates, after it was decided that program was going to stop and they were going to start using this other sort of vague questionnaire? What happened to those people?
Right. So there were 3,000 qualified candidates, as you pointed out, that when this transition from the old way of doing things to the new way of doing things under Obama, this pool of 3,000 qualified candidates was purged. And it's an important thing to keep in mind, because whenever you look into what mainstream sources say, they acknowledge that there are problems, right, with the FAA, with air traffic controllers, but they say, oh, no, they're overworked. They're just overworked. That's the problem. Okay, that's probably part of it. But they're overworked because you scrapped thousands of qualified people because you wanted to bring in a more quote-unquote diverse pool. And, it's kind of funny pointing out, obviously, when you hear talks about selecting for diversity, it's a lot of the people being discriminated against are white, and most in this case were too. But there were even some instances of, like, I forget the exact ethnic groups, but there were even some non-white ethnic groups where it was like, well, you're not even diverse. It might have been like Asian or something of the sort. So it's just really not selecting for qualified people.
And then, so we find out that these qualified candidates who have busted their backside 4 years going to colleges, universities, passing the skills test, they're thrown to the side. They're purged.
Right.
And instead of going with these folks, we're going with a group that passed some sort of questionnaire.
Correct. Yeah, and some of the questions on this the BQ, the behavioral questionnaire, include questions like, how many high school sports did you participate in? How would you describe your ideal job? What has been the major cause of your failures? So they wanted to make it very subjective, so they could choose people based on not their skills, but just kind of an idea that they had. Oh, this is the kind of guy we want to give a job to. Now, they already said that it was. I think they're selecting for certain. Racial and ethnic groups that they feel are victims of, white supremacy or something of the sort. And this was the way that they wanted to go about doing that. So, what's interesting is 2015, who was this guy who was Peter Kirsanow. He was then a member on the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights. He wrote a letter to the FAA. He accused the FAA of diluting its objective standards of evaluating competence because it didn't like the racial and gender composition of its ATC, air traffic controller pool. And then later in 2015, there was a lawsuit filed on behalf of more than 3,000 qualified applicants, whom we spoke about a few minutes ago. An attorney for those plaintiffs said, we have a statement from a leading FAA official that they made this decision in order to increase diversity. So we don't have to speculate. I mean, this stuff is out there. All of this information is widely available. Now, fortunately, President Trump, some of the first things he did in office, some of his first acts were these executive orders cracking down on DUI. We don't like those either, but DEI. Yeah. And so that's going to get the ball rolling on all of this. I hope that the Trump administration looks a little more closely into what's happening at the FAA, because even if you undo those policies that resulted in A, shortages, and B, most likely underqualified people getting those incredibly critical jobs, it's not just enough to change it so that from now on the hiring's good. You've got to go back. You've got to look at everyone who's been hired. You've got to look at all of those people who are qualified, who put in the time on the path to becoming ATCs, who were and who were denied that. And there's a lot of past wrong that needs to be rectified here.
Right. And Patrick, one of the things that I think is important, what you said, this isn't like you just popping off at the mouth your opinion. You can look at some of these plaintiff statements. You can look at some of these legal briefs where you've got quotes that the FAA is clearly focused on recruiting from underrepresented groups. And then you've got the DEI's webpage from the FAA from 2022 through 2026. It's written down that their goals are to focus on the importance of recruiting and maintaining a diverse workforce. So it's all about race. It's all about diversity, and the folks that busted their butt, went through 4 years, passed all these tests, and did things the right way, kind of got thrown off to the side.
Exactly. It's a huge injustice. It isn't just the fact that we're less safe under this kind of state of affairs, but it's a gross injustice to all the people who, again, that program that they initially had, these are people that were in college, and they were planning in college to become air traffic controllers, and they were doing the specific things that the FAA said, like if you want to be an ATC, this is what you do. It's not just people who graduated with a degree in something else and said, oh, maybe I'll apply. No, these are people that oriented their lives and their educations around this. The thing is, apparently the BQ, this behavioral questionnaire that made it entirely subjective, kind of pushed the skills test to the side, was purportedly discontinued in 2018. And it's thanks to Representative Randy Holtgren of Illinois. He introduced legislation in 2016 to eliminate the questionnaire. But in 2019, there's a class action lawsuit representing
warmer than what you'd expect for February. I'm Harrison Silcox. You're listening to Network Indiana. That and rain is
kind of a similar problem to some of this DEI stuff is, these federal agencies will say, oh, yeah, we did away with that. But they could be doing something similar. They could be one thing people have been seeing in the wake of Trump with his executive order cracking down on DEI is you have someone at a high up in a government agency who's like the chief DEI whatever, their job title their job title changes, but it's still the same person there, probably doing the same thing. So there needs to be a lot of scrutiny on these federal agencies all across the government to make sure that they're actually complying with President Trump's orders. And to the credit of the Trump administration, they seem pretty serious about this, and I do hope that they punish the people and the entities involved in trying to thwart what the American people voted for.
Patrick Casey, find his work on Substack, Restoring Order. You could also follow him on Twitter, X, at Restore Order USA. Great conversation, Patrick. Again, we don't know what caused last night's crash. I don't want somebody trying to take this conversation out of context, because that happens a lot these days. But the information you provided, it's very eye-opening. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Having problems with your furnace? I wouldn't do anything until you get a hold of an American Standard Heating and Air dealer. They are local. They are independent. American Standard is built to a higher standard. And here's Hammer to tell you about one of those awesome local independent dealers at Central Indy.
Make some noise for Family Heating and Air, the Morris family and their staff, ready to take care of you this winter. Call Rachel, Marcus, or Malia today. Make sure that furnace is safe and ready to rock for these cold winter nights. Family Heating and Air always encourages you to call them for a free second opinion. Maybe you got a quote from another company, doesn't quite look right. Call Family. Nobody takes care of you like Family, and ask about how to get better indoor air quality as well. 317-577-8077. Family Heating and Air, 577-8077. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
You know that Andy Moore Ford is the place to go for your car, for your truck, for your SUV, or your electric vehicle. And now you know that Andy Moore Ford is the only place to go for your commercial and fleet vehicles as well. Business owners, listen to me. You've got a fleet, right? You got the work trucks, you got the work vans. I don't know the configuration you need, but Andy Moore Ford knows how to make it happen. At Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, they have got the biggest Super Duty inventory in the whole state. Over 100 Super Duty trucks are on the ground and ready for you and your business. And you could save thousands on medium and heavy duty commercial trucks because Andy always gives you more. Andy Moore gives you more. It's funny, but it's also true. With an expert team and a fast turnaround, they know how to keep your business moving. Talk to Andy Moore Ford today. Medium to heavy duty F-Series trucks, they've got you covered. Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at Andy Moore Ford, MOHR. I love Andy. AndyMooreFord.com.
Planning to propose this Valentine's Day? Shane Company has your back. Our easy process to create your dream engagement ring is rock solid. 1, pick your ring setting. 2, choose your center stone. 3, personalize it. With our wide selection of beautiful settings and hand-picked diamonds and gemstones, all at competitive prices, your ring will be as unique as your love story. We'll hand-set your ring in our jeweler's workshop right here in our store and protect it with our free lifetime warranty. Walk in with a dream, walk out with the ring that will take their breath away. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
The Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show
returns to Grand Park February 7th through 9th.
Find inspiration from over 200 exhibitors, artisans, and crafters.
SuburbanIndieshows.com.
B is offering 1 bath remodel for as low as $99 a month or get 2 bath remodels for as low as $249 a month. Call now to schedule that free in-home design consultation.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIPC.com.
We need 30 people, 30 to like the YouTube stream. Go to YouTube. Look for the live stream of the Hammer and Nigel show from WIBC. It's on WIBC's channel. 30 people. Give us a thumbs up and be very grateful for it. Matt Baer.
Eastbound 70 stop traffic Harding into the South Split. That's an 18-minute delay. Inbound 65, 6-minute delay. 29th to Meridian Ped. Northeast side eastbound 465 stop and go traffic. Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. Inbound 69 slows 96 to 82nd. Delay heading into Noblesville on northbound 69 stop and go traffic from Cynthia Road up to State Road 13. That's running at about 4 minutes right now. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Coming up here a little bit after 5 o'clock, the latest on the air tragedy in Washington, D.C., plus some awesome audio of the Senate confirmation hearings between Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel. You're going to hear it all. It's 46 right now at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. And Nige, a country legend, is coming out with a new song tomorrow. Randy Travis is back. Oh. Randy Travis has a new song coming tomorrow called Horses in Heaven.
Okay.
It's the second song that he's done with the help of AI.
Yeah, he has some health issues.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
So he needs a little help.
Yeah.
And technology exists. He's using AI. Here's Randy Travis talking about how much he loves horses, plus a little preview of the song.
Horses are real therapeutic, I guess, would be a good way to put that for me. It's a good place for me sometimes to just get away from everybody and just spend some quiet time alone praying or just time out by yourself. This goes back to when I was sitting on a horse when I was, I think, 3 months old. So I've been there a long time.
There are horses in heaven, so I bet that God's a cowboy heading off into the sunset in a big white Stetson hat.
What do you think?
I mean, if it's AI, if it's helping him, it didn't sound bad. I like Randy Travis. For my money, doesn't get any better than Forever and Ever, Amen.
There you go.
I
Just a staple. Celebrate his entire catalog.
Yeah, sure.
Which brings us to great moments in Randy Travis history.
No, we don't have to do this, do we?
Picture it. Somebody is crashing through a convenience store.
He went through a bad time in his life.
And then you see a naked, bloody, and hammered drunk Randy Travis try to come out of the car that crashed into the convenience store. And this is what happened when the police arrested him. And take a listen to what he has to say to the arresting officers.
Mr. Travis, you hit pretty hard over there.
I'm as fine as a damn dandy.
I pray to God that he will have a cancerous growth that it affects his bones and every part of his body.
It was a pretty dark period for Randy Travis, hoping that the arresting officers get cancerous growths.
You think? Yeah, it was a dark period, yes.
Now, again, great moments in Randy Travis history after the officers have him cuffed, and he's in the back seat.
Yes.
Again, he was naked. Take a listen to how the police officers prepared other police officers for the sight they were about to see.
I want to prepare you for something. The naked man sitting on the back of the fire truck. Randy Travis. Oh, no.
Oh, God. I don't know which is better. The guy at the end, the police officer said, oh, God. Or the initial, I want to prepare you for something. Like he was getting ready to walk into a house full of murdered victims or something, you know, like I don't know.
Can I hear the police reaction one more time in its entirety, please, Allison?
Please.
I want to prepare you for something. The naked man sitting on the back of the fire truck. Randy Travis. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Again? Great moments in Randy Travis history.
I mean, what fictional horror movie could you imagine somebody saying to somebody else on camera, I want to prepare you for something?
Like maybe when you walk into the movie in Gremlins, like and all the Gremlins are in the theater. Like Zach's character, Billy's character.
I want to prepare you for something. There's a bunch of gremlins in there.
One of them's got a white mohawk.
No, this wasn't that. This was a naked Randy drunk Travis.
Naked wishing people had cancer. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Attention Indianapolis residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid with no cost to you, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in Indianapolis and they get paid instantly. This is 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need and your caregiver gets paid instantly. Freedom Care has over 7,000 5-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in Indianapolis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's free to you through Medicaid, go to freedomcare.com or call 463-262-0024. 463-262-0024. That's 463-262-0024.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
For New Year's, I wanted to try Ozempic, Wegovy, or other GLP-1 medications everyone's talked about. I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelty can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelty?
Just send them a text.
Text DATE to 200-300 to get started this New Year's with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic for 80 to 90% less. 100% online. Don't wait. Text DATE to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text DATE to 200-300. DATE to 200-300.
The Pacers are excited to be back home in Indy.
McConnell again.
Six straight.
Give it to the young fella.
We're tipping things off early on Saturday afternoon against the Hawks.
And it's over. Nembhard beat the clock with a three from out of the left end.
You don't want to be late. It's an early tip on Saturday when your Pacers host the Hawks. Game time is 5. Get your tickets at Pacers.com. That's Pacers.com. Pacers Hawks, Saturday at 5.
Did you ever ride your bike with a clothespin and a baseball card? Or use a typewriter for a school paper? Then here's a timely alert. Americans born from 1945 to 1965 are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C, which often has no symptoms, but is a leading cause of liver cancer. The good news? Treatments are available that can cure hepatitis C. Talk with your doctor about getting a blood test for hepatitis C. Know for sure. A message from the CDC.
Coming up in a couple of minutes, your local news. That's all happening after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
Not so fast. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That message in so many words from the head of the NTSB, Jennifer Hamady, who says their probe of last night's deadly midair collision of an American Airlines jet and Black Hawk helicopter near D.C. will focus on the facts and take some time.
And we're here to assure the American people that we are going to leave no stone unturned in this investigation.
67 people were killed in the crash. Search crews still working to recover bodies from the Potomac River, and the flight recorders have not yet been recovered. President Trump says diversity hiring at the FAA could be a factor, blaming his predecessor and pointing to previous articles about hiring policies.
And then it says FAA says people with severe disabilities are most underrepresented segment of the workforce, and they want them in, and they want them. They can be air traffic controllers.
He also signed an executive memo today directing federal agencies to undo the damage he says was done to aviation safety through DEI initiatives. Former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg calling the president's remarks despicable and saying President Trump has fired and suspended key people. For a second day, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. telling senators he wants to make America healthy again, but he's facing some bipartisan concerns.
A worthy movement called MAHA to improve the health of Americans, or to undermine it, always asking for more evidence and never accepting the evidence that is there.
Louisiana Republican Senator and Dr. Bill Cassidy says he's struggling with Kennedy's nomination to lead Health and Human Services. At their confirmation hearings today, FBI Director nominee Kash Patel and former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, nominated to be Director of National Intelligence, trying to reassure senators about their qualifications and mindset. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What's in your forecast? 44 degrees, cloudy over the monuments, rain scattered around Indianapolis according to your radar, low of 40 later. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Rain and warmer temperatures are the expectations the next few days in Indiana. Here's John Herrick.
It's part of the reason why Greg Mello with the National Weather Service offers this advice.
Just make sure you have an umbrella in handy. And it's been a little while since we had some rain move through the area. It's been, wintertime. We haven't really used our umbrellas. But, just keep one in the car, keep it handy.
He says the rain could be heavy at times Friday, but there will also be dry periods. Temperatures will be a little higher than normal for this time of year, with some places getting into the 50s this weekend. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You've probably heard by now about the helicopter and plane collision that killed over 60 people near D.C. last night. Indiana Congressman Jefferson Shreve is a member of the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee.
Committee staff and leadership is already working on this front. I know the NTSB is, Department of Transportation. No one's waiting around.
Figure skaters from both the U.S. and Russia, along with some of their coaches and family members, were on board of that American Airlines flight. The company that built a former Purdue football coach's home is now suing him. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Ryan Walters and his wife Tara say they signed a contract in 2023 that they didn't fully understand. The $3.5 million home was supposed to be built by Schrader Homes, but now the company is suing, saying that the Walterses didn't meet certain terms. Though the details aren't clear, the couple argues that they were misled and never agreed to the design or the cost of the home. The case is playing out in Hamilton County. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark and the rest of her team get to play a preseason game at a place that means a lot to her. The team made the announcement on social media today.
Exciting news, Fever fans. We are coming to Iowa City.
They'll be playing that game against the Brazilian national team May 4th at Carver Hawkeye Arena. That's at the University of Iowa, where Clark played 4 years of college basketball and even led Iowa, the women's team, to back-to-back national championship games. Her jersey is going to be retired in that arena this Sunday. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
AAA not only is the best at helping you out with flat tires, roadside assistance, replacing my dead batteries at work, but they can also plan some amazing vacations. And with all this snow and ice, I'm ready for a trip to Universal Studios with the family in Florida. You know what I mean? No matter where you're headed, AAA can help you get the best price on your next vacation at the AAA Travel Expo, Saturday, February 22nd at the Ritz-Charles in Carmel.
It's free. You don't even have to be a AAA member to attend. Although members love additional benefits like 24/7, 365 roadside assistance. So save the date right now for the AAA Travel Expo 2025, Saturday, February 22nd at the Ritz-Charles in Carmel. Find your dream vacation at Indiana's favorite travel show. Bring a friend and enjoy the day. Get more information and pre-register for your chance to win a $500 AAA travel voucher at AAA.com/expo.
The traffic on the 5s at 5:05. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, looking at eastbound 70, that is jammed up from Belmont into the South Split, 15-minute delay. Inbound 65, stop-and-go traffic from 29th to Meridian Penn on a 7-minute delay right now. Northwest side, northbound 465, slow from 86th Street to 865. Eastbound 465, grinding from Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Inbound 69, slow road 96 to 82nd, and a construction delay heading into Noblesville. It's northbound 69 from Campus Parkway up to State Road 13. That has the left lane closed. Crash on the west side, 38th Street east of High School Road. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thanks, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Thursday evening looks cloudy with some late rain showers, about a 70% chance of rain in your local neighborhood. Low temperatures around 42 degrees with winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, showers end in the morning hours. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8, meteorologist Drew Mercedes for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are
weirdos?
So let's...
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there, keeping you up to date on everything that happened in Washington, D.C. All 67 passengers in both the jet and the helicopter gone. We had an incident last night, a small American Airlines passenger jet colliding with a military Black Hawk helicopter, debris then landing in the Potomac River near the airport. It went from a rescue mission to a recovery mission, Hammer.
And earlier in the show, we had Senator Jim Banks call in and say there is an Indiana tie-in to some of the victims in the passenger plane, an Indiana University graduate, and I believe Carmel High School graduate, part of the group that is feared dead in this awful mid-air collision where a Black Hawk helicopter from the military collided with a very small American Airlines passenger jet coming from Wichita, carrying a lot of young ice skaters and trainers, like folks that could have been on maybe the 2030 Olympic team. And at this point, no update on if the black boxes have been located. We don't believe they have at this point, because if you can find those, maybe we'll get some information on why this happened. Because that's the million-dollar question. Why did this happen?
I mean, we do have the air traffic controller audio, but it doesn't really. I'm not sure that I understand anything that's going on in that audio when I hear it at this point.
The question is, was it too late trying to reach out to the helicopter? But the helicopter didn't respond even before the accident happened anyway.
The airplane was trying to land. These were common routes. Black Hawk helicopters fly up and down the Potomac, and then passenger jets in and out of that airport. Although it's a very busy airport and smaller runways from what I've been reading.
So if we can get these black boxes, maybe we'll get some more information. But at this point, we do not have any of that. Body recovery still taking place in the river. Families still being notified. 67 feared dead. And earlier today, big press conference at the White House in the press briefing room. It was all of the people in charge, right? The president was there, the vice president, the secretary of defense, the transportation secretary, all part of this press conference, making statements, taking questions. Here is a little bit about Donald Trump. And again, let me preface this because I don't want anybody to take our show out of context. We don't know what caused this accident, but the conversation needs to be around everything with the FFA, from training of their employees to the people they hire, and going back to some older policies where they focused more on the color of your skin than your competency.
And I do want to point out that various articles that appeared prior to my entering office, and here's one. The FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. That is amazing. And then it says FAA says people with severe disabilities are most underrepresented segment of the workforce, and they want them in, and they can be air traffic controllers. I don't think so. The FAA is actively recruiting workers who suffer severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative spelled out on the agency's website. Can you imagine?
So that was Donald Trump talking a little bit about some of the previous administration's hiring practices.
Yeah, and that's not gender, race, identity over merit. When we're talking about DEI, that was something different. That was an additional category, it seems like, when Donald Trump was mentioning there.
Pete Hegseth, the newly confirmed Secretary of Defense for Donald Trump's administration, he talked a little bit about the accident.
No excuses. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We first and foremost from the Defense Department want to pass our condolences to the 64 souls and their families that were affected by this. Never should happen. And certainly the three service members, the three soldiers, a young captain, staff sergeant, and a CW2, chief warrant officer, on a routine annual retraining of night flights on a standard corridor for a continuity of government mission. The military does dangerous things. It does routine things on the regular basis. Tragically, last night, a mistake was made. And I think the president is right. There was some sort of an elevation issue that we have immediately begun investigating at the DOD and Army level. Army CID is on the ground investigating. Top-tier aviation assets inside the DOD are investigating, sir, to get to the bottom of it so that it does not happen again, because it's absolutely unacceptable.
And then after that, Pete Hegseth, who, again, the newly confirmed Secretary of Defense, talks a little bit about what Donald Trump was alluding to.
We will have the best and brightest in every position possible. As you said in your inaugural, it is colorblind and merit-based. The best leaders possible, whether it's flying Blackhawks and flying airplanes, leading platoons, or in government. The era of DEI is gone at the Defense Department, and we need the best and brightest, whether it's in our air traffic control, or whether it's in our generals, or whether it's throughout government.
Please, there's nothing controversial about that statement.
No.
Whether you attribute that to what happened last night, yes, I understand there is a discussion, an argument, even controversy that you could apply. I understand that. But gender, race, identity over merit, I'm sorry, there's no discussion for me at that point. It's merit-based.
Big day
That's it.
in Washington, D.C. today. The investigation of the crash is taking place, but also two very high-profile Senate confirmation hearings. Kash Patel, Donald Trump's choice to lead the FBI and be the FBI director. He spoke to the committee today, and he talked a little bit about his haters, because there's a lot of people that don't like Kash Patel because he wants to expose the corruption, blow up the swamp. He talks a little bit about his haters and his leadership.
And anyone that thinks my 16 years of service isn't exemplary on how I would proceed if confirmed as FBI is intentionally putting false information into the public ether and creating more public discourse. The only thing that will matter if I'm confirmed as a director of the FBI is a de-weaponized, depoliticized system of law enforcement completely devoted to rigorous obedience of the Constitution and a singular standard of justice.
This is one of the picks that I really want to happen for Donald Trump.
Kash Patel is a former national security prosecutor, advisor to the director of national intelligence and secretary of defense during Trump's administration, advisors in both those roles.
At one point, Minnesota's Amy Klobuchar was trying to give him the business.
Oh, boy.
Did you say that the FBI headquarters should be shut down and reopened as a museum of the deep state?
If the best attacks on me are going to be false accusations and grotesque mischaracterizations, the only thing this body is doing is defeating the credibility of the men and women at the FBI. I stood with them here in this country. In every theater of war we have, I was on the ground in service of this nation. And any accusations leveled against me that I would somehow put political bias before the Constitution are grotesquely unfair. And I will have you reminded that I have been endorsed by over 300,000 law enforcement officers to become the next director of the FBI. Let's ask them.
Kash Patel putting everybody's mean grandma into her place right there, Amy Klobuchar. And I thought this was interesting. So Kash Patel speaking with Tennessee's Marsha Blackburn, Republican senator, about the Epstein list.
I have worked on this for years, trying to get those records of who flew on Epstein's plane and who helped him build this international human trafficking, sex trafficking ring. Now, earlier I urged then Chairman Durbin to subpoena those records, and I ended up being blocked by Senator Durbin and Christopher Wray. They stonewalled on this, and I know that breaking up these trafficking rings is important to President Trump. So will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight.
Do it. Absolutely do it. And I don't care who is on the list. Expose those people. Put the list out there.
We can't get the list. I don't know that we could get it even after he's confirmed. I don't know that I have any faith in it. Just saying.
Kash Patel, that was his hearing today for FBI director. And honestly, Nigel, I got to be honest. Yeah. I thought Kash Patel's would be the most fiery today. I was wrong, because Tulsi Gabbard, she had her hearing today in front of the Select Committee on Intelligence, and she came out swinging. She, in her opening statement, just destroyed the crooked-ass deep state, one example after the other. I want you to listen to this. It's about 80 seconds long. It's a little bit longer of a soundbite than I like to play, but this is worth it. Hang in there. Here is Tulsi Gabbard just rocking it.
The American people elected Donald Trump as their president not once but twice, and yet the FBI and intelligence agencies were politicized by his opponents to undermine his presidency and falsely portray him as a puppet of Putin. Title I of FISA was used illegally to obtain a warrant to spy on Trump campaign advisor Carter Page, using a Clinton campaign-funded false dossier as their so-called evidence. Biden campaign advisor Tony Blinken was the impetus for the 51 former senior intelligence officials' letter dismissing Hunter Biden's laptop as disinformation specifically to help Biden win the election. Former DNI James Clapper lied to this committee in 2013, denying the existence of programs that facilitated the mass collection of millions of Americans' phone and internet records, yet was never held accountable. Under John Brennan's leadership, the CIA abused its power to spy on Congress, to dodge oversight, lied about doing it until he was caught, and yet has never been held responsible. Under Biden, the FBI abused its power for political reasons to try to surveil Catholics who attend traditional Latin Mass, labeling them as quote-unquote radical traditionalist Catholics. Personally, just 24 hours after I criticized Kamala Harris and her nomination, I was placed on a secret domestic terror watch list called Quiet Skies. Sadly, there are more examples. The bottom line is this must end.
Yeah, labeled a Russian asset after Tulsi Gabbard, Congresswoman, served in Iraq. Questions some of those things. Wow.
You hear her rattle
incredible.
off all of that stuff. You would think this is some third world country, right? This is like what Haiti's government would do. This is what Cuba's government would. No, this was in the United States. And I hope Dick Durbin heard every word of it. That loser from Illinois. And you know who else was a big pain in the ass today? Indiana's Todd Young. The quote-unquote Republican senator from Indiana, Todd Young, was a big pain in the ass in the Tulsi Gabbard hearings.
Yeah, this is Tulsi Gabbard, Trump's pick to oversee the spy agencies, was also asked about Edward Snowden. There was a lot of gotcha questions today. That's what happens in these committee hearings.
Matt Baer, what's up?
Looking at northbound 69 in Hamilton County, slow traffic because of construction. From Campus Parkway up to State Road 13, the left lane is blocked. Eastbound 465 stop and go Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Inbound 69, inbound 65 delayed 7 minutes from 29th to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 is stopped from Tibbs Avenue into the South Split for a 17-minute delay. On the south side, crash Selby Street north of Hannah Avenue, and a crash on the west side, 38th Street east of High School Road. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping and code RADIO and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
46 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Are you okay with this? Next.
Hi, I'm Ken Mears, founder of Great Healthworks, the maker of Omega XL. Folks, if you're searching for an answer to your daily aches, pains, and soreness, then try Omega XL. It's a natural product sourced from a green lip mussel. This oil extract is one of the most powerful, natural joint relief super oils in the world. This one-of-a-kind extract is not found in any other product, and it's backed by over 40 years of clinical research, showing that Omega XL provides relief from joint pain due to inflammation. Stop living in pain. Inflammation is controllable, it's manageable, and it's fixable. Importantly, Omega XL is small, easy to swallow, with no fishy aftertaste. And it works. We've put over 20 years into this quality brand, ensuring that Omega XL makes a difference in your life. Try it, and you won't be disappointed.
Call now for Omega XL's BOGO special, 800-607-2604. That's less than $20 a bottle. Remember, there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. Terms apply. 800-607-2604. 800-607-2604. Or OmegaXL.com/news.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. Call 800-970-3355. 800-970-3355. 800-970-3355.
Is credit card debt ruining your life? Did you know you have a right to settle that debt for much less than you owe? DebtBlue has helped people just like you resolve millions of dollars of high-interest credit card debt. They can help with payment relief, the burden of rising inflation, and have a large portion of your debt wiped clean. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, a free 10-minute phone call could save you thousands. Discover how to reduce or completely resolve your credit card debt. In fact, we are so sure that we can reduce your debt that we offer the DebtBlue Success Guarantee. We don't get paid unless your debt gets reduced or resolved, so there is absolutely no risk to call. For your free debt resolution plan, call 800-908-6355. That's 800-908-6355. The call is free. The consultation is free. The more you owe, the more you can save. Call now. 800-908-6355. That's 800-908-6355.
Jewelry Gram, it's your friends at Shane Company here to remind you that Valentine's Day is Friday, February 14th. We have just the right gift for your sweetheart, like heart-shaped necklaces, birthstones, or diamond studs. Getting engaged? Create a dream ring and choose from natural rubies, colorful sapphires, and natural and lab-grown diamonds in all shapes and sizes. At Shane Company, love is always in the air with our unmatched free lifetime warranty and everyday competitive prices. Come visit us in-store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
My quality of life is so different, but one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
The Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show
returns to Grand Park February 7th through 9th.
Find inspiration from over 200 exhibitors, artisans, and crafters.
SuburbanIndieshows.com.
Are you really okay with it?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Hammer, a guy named Mac, reworks hit songs to sound like they were done by other artists.
Okay.
He's very good at it. His latest one is a heavy metal version of It Wasn't Me by Shaggy. You know that one.
That song came out, what, late 90s, early 2000s?
Fans asked him, they requested him to do it in the style of the band Disturbed.
Honey came in and she called me red-handed, creeping with the girl next door.
Okay.
Picture this, so we were both butt naked, banging on the bathroom floor. How could I have forgotten that?
Wow.
Given her an extra key. All this time she
Keep going.
was standing there, she never took her eyes off me. How can you give your woman access to your villa? Just busting a windows while you're banging to your pillow.
Oh, this is incredible.
Are you okay with this?
Yes. I would listen to this whole song, man. That does sound like Disturbed doing a cover of It Wasn't Me by Shaggy.
Awesome.
That was really good. Shaggy, great moments in Shaggy history. The first time I ever had to use the dump button after it was, brought to mainstream, after it was invented, was an on-air interview with Shaggy
that dumps the audio.
Correct.
If they say the F word, you can't hear it if you're listening in your car.
Right. Our producer has a little button that they can hit that, clears out the previous 5 or 7 seconds, right? So when this thing first came out, I was running my own dump button at ZPL, interviewing Shaggy, who was the opening act for the Backstreet Boys at the then Hoosier Dome. Might have been RCA, but he wouldn't stop swearing. I'm like, Shaggy, we're live here. And it was GD, it was S, I think we got an F word in there. Like, I had to cut it short because Shaggy was a moron.
I love that you just had to call him Shaggy, not by his real name. Shaggy, come on.
What am I going to call him, Ken? Like, come on.
I don't know what his real name is.
I don't either, but I'm not going to call him by that.
Got a minute left. What do you want to do? What do you want to do here?
Surprise me.
Okay, Allison, mood music, please.
Is this... Hold on. Yeah! Little House of the Prairie.
Got another classic TV show reboot. Netflix is rebooting Little House on the Prairie. Huge reason why. The original series streams on Peacock about 13 billion minutes.
We watched it. We binged all of Little House on the Prairie.
Last year, people streamed more than 13 billion minutes of Little House on the Prairie. Netflix is rebooting it. Are you okay with this?
So do we know who's in it? Like, that's going to be like how I answer if I'm okay with it or not.
Don't know anything about it.
Like, if you're telling me it's going to be like Pauly Shore, then no, I'm probably not okay with it. But if it's somebody taking it seriously, then sure, I'll give it a chance. It's not going to be as good as Michael Landon. It's not going to be as good as the original Little House, but I'll watch it. What was your favorite episode of Little House on the Prairie?
Oh, man, don't ask me that. I've watched it twice with my son, back and forth. You're going to have to get back to me on that. I don't have a favorite episode. It's just the overall theme, the family, the togetherness, the fact that they're not afraid to attack different issues, even back in the late 70s, early 80s. Great show.
Have you ever in your life done like work around the yard, work around the house, wearing suspenders and no shirt, like Michael Landon used to do yesterday?
Yeah. It was warm enough yesterday. I was able to get some snow off the driveway. Suspenders and some boots, and that was it.
Mr. Ingalls, can you please put on a shirt? No. Rob Kendall's coming up. He never has a shirt on. He's ready to go off the rails. That's coming up after the news with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Not the kind of weather you expect. Heading into February, 45 and a cloudy downtown. Plenty of rain around the capital city on radar. 40 degrees is your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. Temperatures in the 50s is not normal for February, but that could be the case this weekend.
Yeah, it'll be quite warm. There might be times where we cool down just briefly, but overall, over the next 10 days, it looks like we'll be well above normal.
Greg Mello with the National Weather Service. Chances for rain are also in play before the end of the day, with more rain possible Friday. It's being reported that nobody survived the plane and helicopter collision near D.C. Wednesday night. If you haven't already heard, the National Transportation Safety Board held their first press conference this afternoon about the wreck.
We are going to conduct a thorough investigation of this entire tragedy, looking at the facts.
NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy says they're staying out of the way so search and rescue crews can do their jobs. Indiana Senator Jim Banks says a woman from Indiana was on board.
Well, obviously a very sad situation. We just found out minutes ago that a Hoosier was on that plane, a recent Indiana University graduate.
He tells WIBC's Hammer and Nigel their husband had posted a video on social media. He was waiting for her at the airport before anybody had figured out what happened. The company that built a former Purdue football coach's home is now suing him. Here's Ryan Hedrick.
Ryan Walters and his wife Tara say they signed a contract in 2023 that they didn't fully understand. The $3.5 million home was supposed to be built by Schrader Homes, but now the company is suing, saying that the Walterses didn't meet certain terms. Though the details aren't clear, the couple argues that they were misled and never agreed to the design or the cost of the home. The case is playing out in Hamilton County. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The average price you're paying for a gallon of gas today, $2.97, says GasBuddy.com. It's about 13 cents below the national average. And with a look at the roads at 5:32, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, inbound 69, stop-and-go traffic before 96th Street to 82nd Street. Hardly moving at all there. Eastbound 465 slow from Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Inbound 65, that's a 7-minute delay from MLK to Meridian Penn. And eastbound 70 jam tight from Tibbs Avenue into the South Split. An 8-minute delay. South side eastbound 465 is slowed down here in the last 10 minutes. Stop-and-go traffic after 31 over to Emerson Avenue, keeping an eye on that. A crash on the south side, Shelby Street north of Hannah Avenue. Crash on the northwest side, 86th Street at Harcourt Road, and crash at 38th Street east of High School Road. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Transform your bathroom with a Dream Baths by B. New tub or shower conversions can be installed in as little as 1 day, and financing as low as $99 a month. Visit bwindow.com for details. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Thursday evening looks cloudy with some late rain showers, about a 70% chance of rain in your local neighborhood. Low temperatures around 42 degrees with winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, showers end in the morning hours. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8, meteorologist Junior Sudas for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
And now, Hammer and Nigel go off the rails with Rob Kendall.
Noise pollution.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show joining us live to go off the rails. Rob, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks, as always, to our fabulous segment sponsor, Garage Doors of Indianapolis.
Oh, so did you tailgate for the State of the State with Mike Braun last night?
Could you get any sleep the night before, Rob? Did you put out a stocking in hopes that Braun and Micah might come down the chimney?
You know, it turns out, shut up, I'm trying to listen doesn't work with a 19-month-old.
It seems like, though, this was in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
This is something that you were paying attention to.
Yeah, you guys had a great interview with him, and I thought he kind of just laid out exactly what he went through during the State of the State. I mean, it was great that he used the Kendall and Casey audience as his people.
Talk about that, because I think that's really cool.
Yeah, so they had reached out last week, and they had
the Braun team.
Yeah, and said, Rob, can you give us some specific instances of what do you think are kind of the most egregious of these people getting crushed by these skyrocketing property taxes? And I said, how about I get you 200 people? And they said, great, all the better. So we had asked our audience, we said, hey, we can't tell you exactly what this is for. We're going to read these on the air. We'll definitely do that. But then we're going to give these to somebody in the State House who's going to use this for something big. So send us your name, where you're from, how to get a hold of you, and how your property tax bills have gone up over the past 3 or 4 years. And we ended up sending probably 200 people. I mean, we could have given them 1,000 if we'd have stayed at it, of people who are just sick of this. They're just sick of the crap. And he ended up using 4 or 5 of them in the State of the State, specific instances. And then he even had Rob and Stephanie from Greenwood were there in the VIP box as his special guests.
So this was to set the tone for his first year in office and really the first term, right? For so many people, this was the first chance they had to see Mike Braun being a governor since the election, right? He's done executive orders, but this is their first chance to see him, on television, online, whatever, speaking to the masses as the governor of the state of Indiana. Do you think he made a strong enough case that he's serious about property taxes?
Oh, yeah. He did great. I would give that speech an A, maybe an A+. It was a great speech. It was, he hit all the high points. And, here's what I tweeted last night. After 12 years of having doofus clowns running the state, I mean, Pence and then Holcomb, I mean, they were playing government. Those two guys had zero interest in actually governing, actually doing hard work, actually being creative and figuring out how to solve issues without growing government.
Helping people like us, right? We're not some of these high roller, $1,000 a plate donors. We're people that hate that kind of stuff for the most part.
Everything Holcomb did was about growth of government. Every big speech he gave, every central theme of his administration was about growing government. And Braun was the exact opposite last night. His signature issues were how to eliminate or streamline government, give you more of your own money. It's a great speech.
After the speech was over, the Democrats came out and said what especially pertaining to property tax. Because I heard that one guy say something. Well, enjoy not having 911 anymore. Not going to have your 911 calls anymore. I mean,
Did we get a who's going to save the children out of them?
Right, exactly. I didn't say that. You know what I'm saying. You didn't say that specifically, but 911 was mentioned, and all these things that said that were going to happen if Braun enacts his property tax plan.
Yeah, and this is the new human shield, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
This is the new human shield, and now it's the local government people because, they don't want to acknowledge there's a $55 million swimming pool that just got built in Carmel. There's a $36 million G League arena for the Mad Ants that got built in Noblesville. There's a 10,000 person open air stadium that's about to be built in Westfield. Hell, there's a $4 million empty patch of grass sitting in the heart of Brownsburg, right? I mean,
I'm sorry, there's an empty patch of grass for $4 million?
Yeah, we paid $4 million. You remember the guy that's on the council, he owns the building right next to it, and he didn't tell people about it. You remember that whole thing. That old news amongst friends, right? But yeah, there's a $4 million just patch of grass that's sitting right in the heart of Brownsburg. These local government people are disgusting when they always revert to, it's again the same thing with the referendums with the schools, right? How the kids are going to be harmed. Oh, we'll have to cut police. Oh, we'll have to cut fire. Oh, it's 911. It's these bull crap doomsday scenario things to scare you into thinking that if you get to keep more of your own money, somehow the community's going to suffer.
And other than property taxes, Mike Braun, again, it was bullet point through bullet point. To his credit, he told us it was not going to be a long speech, doesn't like to sit there and listen to himself talk. So I think he was done in less than 30 minutes. Went up there, bada bing, bada boom. What else did you hear that you liked?
Well, he is very, one of the things Braun is not afraid to do is take people on. And so in terms of, we have not seen this from the Republicans, certainly the past 8 years, really the past 12. Look, this was the best speech I've heard since Mitch Daniels was governor. He looked directly at those local government people when he was talking about property taxes, and he said, look, we will help you figure this out. If you can't figure this out on your own, we will help you figure out how to streamline your government, but we are doing this, right? For so long, the Republicans in this state have told the people, you got to suffer, and the government gets whatever they want. You got to suffer. You got to pay more. That's out the window. And so a lot of his speech, whether it was surprise billing with hospitals, whether it was streamlining efficiencies inside the state of Indiana, it was about how the government can do with less so you can have more. And I thought it was a really enjoyable speech.
And do you think SB 1, property tax bill, I heard you talking about this with, I believe, Nikki Kelly, Capitol Chronicle, earlier this morning on the Kendall and Casey show. It's not going to get passed in its current form, right? But something will pass. Something will cross the desk of Governor Braun, and he will sign it,
well,
right?
Nikki's a very fine reporter, and that's why we have her on. I think she's misreading the tea leaves on this one. The bill, you can't just pass part of it. The bill doesn't work unless you have to pass the reset. It doesn't do much if you don't reset the rates. And the premise of the reset is, hey, you got screwed by something that's no fault of your own. There's been all this growth in these communities anyway, all this massive commercial growth. They're getting all this money. You deserve to be able to afford to live in your home. And so I think she's misreading the tea leaves. I think it will clear the Senate in basically its current form. Now, whether those chuckleheads over in the House of Representatives, because I don't think Houston wants any part of this, and this is where our audience is going to come in, we're going to have to overwhelm these House reps to say, hey, we demand you do this. We've moved it this far, and we'll see how it goes.
I told the governor this the other day. One thing I like so far, and it's early, but so far, is there's backbone, right? Yeah. They haven't been wishy-washy. They haven't been scared of, as Rob would say, the angry red-shirted teachers. They've been pretty steadfast to the point to where even the good time party boys, Rod and Todd, late last year, remember, they were saying, well, we don't really think property tax will get passed this year, to all of a sudden, they're sitting front row, hey, let's pass this thing.
Well, and you talked about this on the air today. So I got a lot of flack when I endorsed Braun last year, and that came after I met Braun over at state party headquarters. We talked for about an hour. It was in the summer. Micah was there as a witness in case I disappeared. So, somebody was there at all time. It was like when I walked into state party headquarters, like Saddam Hussein had entered the hello, I'm here to see Mr. Braun.
That scene in Goodfellas where Joe Pesci thinks he's walking in to become a made man, and something different happens.
But we had it was a very good discussion. About an hour, and we were pretty direct with each other. And I walked in. Look, I've been around this 20 plus years. I know I can spot political BS when I see it. And this is what I told people. I think he came late to the party, but he got there, right? He understands where the people are, and whether it's he actually believes it or it's the political win, whatever. I don't care. He's been all in on it. He's been great. He's followed through on everything he said he was going to do so far, and I think he really wants to see this thing pass.
We're going off the rails with Rob Kendall here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Rob has been watching these hearings in Washington, D.C. all week. He's so into it, he's been speaking like RFK all week. Is that voice going to make it to the end of this segment, Rob?
You know, I
gravelly voice.
Now, Nigel, this will be foreign to you, but I believe in showing up to work. So, look, I don't.
So.
See, I'm damned if I do. I'm damned if I don't. I got one guy that never shows up, but the other guy shows up and gets everybody sick.
Yeah, it's under the weather, but you know me. I mean, like they make me take these days off. Of course, we don't get any appreciation for it. By the way, why is B1057 playing in the hallways now? What happened?
No idea.
Did you offend someone? It was fine when I left yesterday.
It was fine after my first break yesterday.
Did you do a lewd nude dude in the news joke? And that
somebody, and again, the backstory is here on the 4th floor of the Emmis building, there are 2 radio stations. The rest of our sister stations are upstairs. It's the Fan, the sports channel, and us.
It's the 2 talk stations in
right.
the cluster.
And we rotate shows on who's on the PA system, right?
Because Katz is never here, so they don't need to hear him.
Right.
Yeah.
So when Katz is gone, they play the Fan. When our shows are here, they play us. So in the afternoon, we're used to hearing Hammer and Nigel. I get up to go to the Can, and I hear Wham singing "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go." I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
So I asked our boss, David, why is B on? And he kind of just looked at me. Somebody might have complained.
About what?
Yeah, what could you have possibly
We're bringing in too much revenue? We're bringing in too many ratings? We're winning too much?
Whatever.
That's
all
the
right.
problem?
Yeah, you notice we were all in the top 5 in terms of best shows in America. Not a word. And then I heard yesterday at the all-staff meeting that threw a parade for Sean Copeland because he was, 15th or 16th?
Right.
Well, good for him.
Well, that's fine.
But we all got higher.
Yeah, I mean, come on, right? They didn't say not a peep out of them.
Come back for one more segment.
Let's do it.
We're going off the rails with Rob Kendall. This is the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hey, there's no situation, no difficulty, no problem that real estate expert Mark Deedle hasn't encountered. He knows every situation is unique. He's the only person I'd trust to sell my home for sure. Sadly, Chris and Katie's in Perry Township's marriage was ending, and they were both ready to sell, obviously, and move forward ASAP. Mark Deedle made it happen fast and easy. The home sold for more than they anticipated in 24 hours.
You deserve the best. You work hard for your money, your property assets, and Mark Deedle is the best. And what separates him from the competition is the guarantee. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. How about that? You pick the move date, no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Get the best with Mark Deedle. 317-755-4232 or go to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdeedle.com.
The new year means new deals at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. This is where you get your next Ford car, truck, SUV, EV, or fleet vehicle. Elevate your journey right now with the new 2024 Ford Expedition Platinums. Save over $15,000 off MSRP. Equipped with a high-output 3.5-liter EcoBoost, it delivers up to 400 horsepower for commanding performance. And with the premium leather-trimmed interior and wood accents, you're sure to enjoy your time on the road. Need something a little smaller but still enough room? Check out the new 2024 Ford Edge SE. Save over $6,500 off MSRP. You got to check out everything going on at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Get more to your door. Simply purchase your vehicle online and they'll deliver it directly to you. Visit the showroom, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at andymoreford.com. That's Andy Moore, M-O-H-R.
I love Andy.
andymoreford.com.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep Central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, Call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
After we met and we started dating, Nancy and I lived 150 miles apart, and I would drive my old jalopy car, and it was roughly a 3-hour distance. It took 3 years I drove across that state back and forth dating her every weekend.
Persistence.
And I would have never stopped. I had a lot of energy back then, 36 years ago.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and want to work with a local independent dealer you can trust, like B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical? Find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
It's time to ditch big wireless. Pure Talk gives you unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month on their 5G network. Dial pound 250 and say keyword switch now to save 50% off your first month.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
Yeah, Hammer, looking at the south side, crash. Eastbound 465 at Emerson Avenue, blocking the left lane, stopping traffic back to US 31 for a 28-minute delay. Crash clear on the north side, eastbound 465 before Allisonville Road. Stop-and-go traffic remains before and after Keystone Avenue. Southbound 69 stopped after 106th Street down to 465. Those exit lanes to 465 not moving right now. We do have a crash reported in that interchange of southbound 69 and I-465. Inbound 65 slow from MLK to Meridian Penn, and eastbound 70 coming in right now at a 5-minute delay from Harding Street to the south split. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
44 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC. Back with Rob Kendall from the #1 rated Kendall and Casey show. Here at 93 WIBC. Again, if you listen to our podcast, The Degenerates Next Door, brought to you by StatFactory.io, Rob has made it clear that he is not going to watch the Super Bowl. He will not be betting or gambling on the Super Bowl.
That's right.
It's a full Tim Allen Christmas with the Cranks boycott of the Super Bowl.
Well, that's interesting considering you do a podcast about betting on things like that.
I'm a principled person.
That's interesting.
The fix is in. And
choice,
by the way,
Rob.
My mother called the other day, and she's up in arms. You know the Chiefs are my favorite team, and I love Patrick Mahomes, and now we won't be able to watch the game together. I said, sorry, I'm a principled person.
And this is what I brought up to him earlier. All right, so you're somebody that feels like the fix is in. And I'm not even saying that you're wrong.
Yeah.
Okay?
I mean, you agree, right? The referee doing the Frogger move.
They get a lot of calls.
Right? I mean, come on.
But much like that Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight where we knew that thing was fixed, but they allowed you to bet on it. And we won big. The cash we won was real for a fight that was fake. If you know the fix is in, why don't you use that to make money? Bet on the Chiefs.
Look, throughout human history, people have had to take principled stands.
Here we go.
It doesn't always...
A history lesson.
It doesn't always work out.
That's what the kids in the car were just hoping to hear, a history lesson from RFK Jr. over here.
Throughout the history of this country, people have had to add great personal sacrifice to prove a point. And unless there's some enticement for me... Look, I hate the Philly fans. I can't stand Taylor Swift. Swift. Why would I want to watch this game anyway? I'm willing to take a stand for the blatant cheating that went on and my $6. I want my $6 back. I want my 3 hours back.
You could win it on what you think is a fixed outcome.
No, because then Philadelphia would get something out of it. No. I want somebody to hand me $6 and say, I'm sorry for wasting from the NFL. Here's $6 and I'm sorry for wasting 3 hours of your evening.
I think I've got 4 quarters and 2 $1 bills in my office. Hammer, do you want to scrape together some change?
I'm not giving him a damn thing.
Hammer told me he hopes I die in a hostage crisis on the show earlier today.
Wait, I'm the wrong dude for you to try to pull that bleeding heart crap to. Let me make that perfectly clear right now.
Look, I'm open to hearing anything, but as of right now, yeah, I'm out. I haven't been sold.
Well, in the case that I made on the betting show that's now out, the newest episode, the Thursday episode. So in addition to you already having what you think is a fixed outcome where you can make money on, look at it this way. The folks on the Eagles, their board of directors, their owners, big-time donors to Act Blue and the political left. The Hunt family, which owns the Kansas City Chiefs, not only are they big-time red folks, they've donated to conservatives. Gracie Hunt, the future heir to the Chiefs, smoke show.
I'll tell you
Very
what,
hot.
if you watch this game that for the next year once a week, Gracie Hunt will come mow my lawn in a bikini. Now I'm listening. Somebody's going to offer me something here. I've been burned too many times, and I'm really sour right now in the NFL.
What's coming up on the big show tomorrow?
We are scheduled to have a township trustee join us, and he's going to tell us why we're wrong and township government is great, and you're getting great value for your money. We'll see how that goes.
Boy, speaking of Joe Pesci walking into that room, good luck to that guy. Special thanks to
Garage Doors of Indianapolis. You guys are the best. Thank you.
He's off the rails. That's Rob Kendall. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Blood, sweat, tears. At Bill Estes, we know it takes hard work and years of doing the right thing to build a business people can depend on. That's why we don't make empty promises and expect your trust. Estes earns it. From Ford F-150s and Toyota Tacomas to Ram 1500s and Chevy Silverados, we have the trucks you'll love at prices you can believe in. But don't just take our word for it. Your trust means something. Estes earns it. BillEstes.com.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-210-8808. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Help USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-210-8808. 800-210-8808. 800-210-8808.
If you're drowning in unresolved tax debt, know this. The IRS can place a lien on your home, garnish your paycheck, and levy your bank account. That's catastrophe for you.
We interrupt this message to bring you some good news about your tax debt. We're TaxRise, experienced tax professionals.